What's good, Finn Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and today I'm joined by the Jason Taylor to my Zach Thomas, as always. EMdolphinfan, what's good, homie?
I'm good, man. Disappointing loss. This one was a tough one for me today, bro. But it's what it is. So, yeah, man. How you feeling, bro?
I mean, you said to me before we went live, I don't seem that upset, and that's because if everyone saw my prediction, I expected this. You know what I mean? I didn't expect our defense to be this porous at times. I also predicted us to lose by 10. So I don't know, man. I saw things again, another game of I saw things I liked, and I saw a lot of things I didn't like. So that's where I'm at with it right now.
I hear you.
Again, another, for the most part, for the majority, impressive showing from Austin Jackson and Solomon Kinley.
Mm-hmm.
And again, another impressive from my boy, Miles Gaskin. They only gave him the ball 7 times, but he managed 46 yards.
Mm-hmm. He only got 7 carries, huh?
He only got 7 carries for 46 yards, bro. Matt Breida got 7 for 37. Fitzpatrick had 3 for 12. And Jordan Howard doing his best Kalen Ballage impression, 5 carries for 4 yards, averaging 0.8 yards per carry.
Yeah. I don't
know. Let's talk about that. Let's jump into this. Before we jump in to the Buffalo Bills, let's talk about Fitzy. 31 of 47, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 100.3. Now, there were a few sacks he took, and some of those were created pressure, especially early on in the first half. There were times where, again, he looked hesitant stepping up. There was one time where he stepped up, and then he climbed all the way down, and he put himself into pressure, and Mario Addison, I believe it was, cleaned up the sack. It was either Addison or Hughes. It's in my notes.
Those were both coverage sacks, in my opinion.
Yeah, but he could have stepped up and out. He had room to step up and get some yards, but instead he looked hesitant trying to make the throw. But again, 31 of 47, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, 100.3 rating. And it really, again, where Gasecki today was the one getting most of the separation from what I saw, at least.
He was making a lot of big boy plays, even when he didn't get, consistent separation. I mean, he made several big boy contested type catches, at crucial points or crucial stretches during the game. And he played, I mean, he was phenomenal in my opinion. Very good game from Mike Gesicki, bro.
Yeah, because Devontae and Preston, again, when they were making plays, it was in tight coverage, bro. It wasn't really in a ton of open space, right? Which is kind of scary considering we did see a lot of zone coverage today because, again, they are a zone-heavy scheme. But my thing here is, we didn't see a ton of motion pre-snap, right? We didn't see it. You got like a plane or something going by. We didn't see a ton of motion. We didn't see another ton of pre-snap motion. We didn't see a lot of manufactured separation from the play calling. The play calling, I'm starting to question a little bit to a sense as well, bro.
Well, I think it picked. I would say
better in the second half because they actually started targeting the middle of the field. But that first half was very, very concerning.
Yeah,
brother.
I agree, and I don't know why this is a reoccurring issue with our team, man. It seems like no matter who the coach is or who the OC is, offensive coordinator, it's like we get out to these slow starts, bro, and it's like we can't establish any rhythm early. I don't know what. It's been seems like a 15-year issue with our team, but it picked up. The play calling picked up in the second half, I thought. The line started picking things up. Fit started to get in more of a rhythm, I thought, and things seemed to come together and gel. Like all areas of our offense, all aspects of our offense seemed to be playing together more once the second half came. And but at the end of the day, man, you got to make the plays when they present themselves. And my biggest take from this game is that, we don't have, we're going to have to start putting some respect on this kid, Josh Allen's name, because what our keys to victory, our show on Friday, the Dolphins did basically everything we said, what they should do, the approach. But
which again, guys, number one was contain Josh Allen's athleticism. Number two was make him beat you from inside the pocket. And then number three was limit their running back duo. So they did complete basically everything we had asked. The problem was, guys, last week against the Jets, Josh Allen had his first ever 300-yard game. Today, against your Miami Dolphins, he went 24 of 35 for 417 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 147.0 quarterback passer rating.
I mean, the kid, you saw the growth from the tip-off. I mean, the kid, he was so decisive with the football. He wasn't even looking to –
his touch was there too.
Oh, absolutely.
That throw, I don't remember who else was in coverage, but I know one of them was Noah, and where he placed it over top of them, it was Rowe, right? Where we thought Rowe should have made the play on the ball, but somehow he got it through Rowe's hands over Igbenogany's head and right into Stephon Diggs' chest as he jumped in the air. I don't know how. I was like, and then the touch on the sidelines when he's throwing along the sidelines as well.
Last year, that would have been an interception for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But the kid, I'm telling you, man, we need, the growth. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it's not like we have, and I know we gave up a ton of yards, but the way he was able to anticipate, throw guys consistently open, hitting guys in stride, putting the ball in a place where only the receiver can get it and take off and get yards after the catch.
Yeah, he only had a couple bad throws where he missed badly.
You never saw this version of Josh Allen since he's been in the NFL. And kudos to him, kudos to their staff for this kid's development, because it wasn't. And I get the upgrade in talent with Stephon Diggs. I mean, Stephon Diggs is one of the better wide receivers in the league, but there were times when, and I know we'll get to Noah Igbenogany at some point, I'm sure. They had him on that rotisserie grill all game long, toasting him, absolutely roasting him. But there were times when Igbenogany was he was in position to make a play on the football, but the touch, like you just referenced, from Josh Allen just made it virtually impossible because he delivered a perfect pass in that particular situation. And then that happened not only with Igbenogany, but Nick Needham as well. The pass several throws he threw to Cole Beasley, and you just got to tip your hat to him at the end of the day. Okay, you just have to tip your hat to him and move on. He just looks like a completely different player.
I want to ask you, did you see? It was at around, I think it was at around the intermediate level when Singletary. Did you see that when Singletary blew up Noah Igbenogany?
Blew him up.
Where he put his head down and just freaking ran right through him.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Yeah.
he took him. He said, "Yo, you think you're having a bad day right now? Good night." Yeah. That was in the fourth quarter with about 7:30 left, and Singletary just blew him up. And I'll say this too. When I knew we were in for a long day? You want to know when I knew we were in for a long day, brother?
When was that?
When there was about it wasn't even when Byron Jones slipped and he went out. Mm-hmm. It was literally the first play of the game. Darrell Williams, I don't know if you saw it. I don't know who the interior defensive tackle was on that. Mm-hmm. He chipped him. Then he basically shed off him, turned around and wiped Baker out at the second level, and it was a 10-yard gain for up the middle. And I was like, oh, here we go again, right? So,
well, in fairness,
bro, where are you right now? Are you in a parking lot? Hi.
Whatever, dude. I'm in my garage chilling, man. What are you talking about? But in fairness to Jerome Baker played a lot. He played a much cleaner game than he did last week. I will say that.
His first quarter was rough, though.
Oh yeah, the first quarter absolutely was rough. But I thought everything. I think the Dolphins did everything that I felt like they needed to do to win the football game from a schematic standpoint, from a personnel group standpoint. It's just, again, at the end of the day, it's when you have players, and I'm not putting Josh Allen in this category, but you see the development, you see the ability when he's in the pocket and he's extending plays. The previous 2 years, when he's extending a play, he's looking to put his head down and run and get, and make plays with his legs. He was consistently extending the play, eyes downfield, and the throws he was making, the dimes, in tight windows on the run. It was highly impressive. It hurt me. It absolutely gutted me. But you got to tip your hat to that dude. He made play after play after play after play. You got to give him credit at the end of the day. We were in a position to take command of this game. I thought our offensive line kind of took over in the third quarter. And I felt really good about the outcome, the overall outcome at that point. But he just put this team on his back, bro. He got a sack. Okay, he was holding on to the ball. This was in the fourth quarter when they took the lead. He got a sack he was holding on to the ball too long, got sacked. Mm-hmm. And then to come back and throw that dime like that, to get the first down on the very next play. You just got to tip your hat to him. You see the growth, you see the development. Now the structure, you see the structure in his game. It's starting to catch up to his athleticism. And God forbid.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That first down, it was a occurring theme against our defense all day. Short, intermediate, and sometimes even deep crossing routes.
Mm-hmm. Byron Jones was sorely missed today. Byron Jones.
Even look at that touchdown. Which touchdown? Which one was it here? Let me look in my notes right here. It was all right. It was on 3rd and 9 with about 3:09 left. Just after a 2nd and 9, where X missed that overthrow for an interception. That was a miscommunication between Allen and Brown, where Brown was underneath X, and he overthrew Brown, and X tried to make the play, but he couldn't. Bro, they came back with literally the exact same play.
Yeah. Yep.
And McCain over pursued and bit on the coverage and moved up. I don't know whether Allen moved his eyes. I got to wait to watch the all 22, but he bit and moved up, and he left X out to dry with no help behind him, and it was a wrap, bro.
Very next play. But you know what reason that right there is? That's coaching. That's a lack of coaching.
I agree, 110%. The
you know
coaching
lack of coaching.
The defensive side of the ball has been atrocious.
I get it. I understand.
I really hope, this is a scary thing. I really hope it's Josh Boyer that's calling the plays and not Brian Flores.
I know, right?
Because if it's Brian Flores calling the plays, we have a problem, bro. And if it is Josh Boyer calling the plays, hey, Brian, I hate to be the one to say this second weekend, might want to start thinking about taking over the reins, my friend.
I agree. And I get Bobby McCain. He took a horrible angle on that play. He should have known. He should have just kept sinking back and taken away that area of the field. And he got exposed. His lack of reading the quarterback, his lack of recognition, he got exposed on that play. It happens. But again, I think you shouldn't
we did have good signs from a coverage because, that Beasley reception we talked about earlier, that was kind of a coverage sack when we were in zone by Ogba, right? Davis and Wilkins just basically corrupted and penetrated that pocket, and then it was basically Ogba's day to roll, right? I got to say this. Bro. Kyle Van Noy. I am still seeing little downticks in his game that have me like, that interception, bro, getting stiff armed by Josh Allen. When he missed that tackle on the end around after the challenge Diggs catch, again, it was a crossing route. And instead of it being 3 yards, they ended up getting like 7, I think, or something like that. Like, just, I'm seeing more missed tackles from Kyle Van Noy. I'm just seeing more brain farts. I don't know, man. And I will say this too. That first, I will say, especially in coverage, I know you can say Baker played a little bit of a cleaner game, maybe in the run game, but in coverage, both our middle linebackers at times again it was painful. But I will say this, you look at that play there's about 9 minutes left. It was 1st and 10 in the first quarter, and Camus Grugier-Hill penetrated that pocket, and he's the reason why Allen moved around, and one of his few inaccurate throws was because Camus Grugier-Hill. But overall, I just don't think we're getting enough from that middle linebacker position right now.
Definitely. Definitely.
I don't think we're getting enough from the interior still, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other thing, too, is, let's be honest, another day, another game, another performance by Shaq Lawson where he's pretty much wiped out.
Yeah.
Agba is only flashing here and there. He's not consistently doing he's not consistently, causing issues.
But he's not. In fairness to Agba, he's not put in a position to do that.
I agree.
They haven't been put in a position to do that. So, but Shaq Lawson, I mean, he played much better in terms of setting the edge this week. But Shaq Lawson, in terms of the pass game, he's giving me what I thought Shaq Lawson would give. He's not a dynamic pass rusher. They didn't bring Shaq Lawson in to be Jadeveon Clowney. They did not. They brought him in to be able, to set that edge. You know what I mean? And then, he's a versatile player. He has a versatile skill set, but he's just not a dynamic pass rusher. So he's doing Shaq Lawson things, in my opinion. So, but Agba, see, this goes back to coaching. What I said, when they're lining Agba up outside and they're just unleashing him and asking him to go get the quarterback, he's flashing. I don't understand why they're not putting him more consistently in that role. I mean, that's the $1 million question. I'm like, man. So again, lack of coaching, and I'm with you. I hope it's Josh Boyer that's calling the plays.
We got a problem.
I hope it is. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's Brian Flores, man, like you said, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, we have a huge problem.
I want to ask you this. I want to ask everyone in the chat. We got 120 people in the chat right now. Smash that like button, guys. What was the rougher day? We'll stay away from coverage because it was a bad day. Stephon Diggs took Noah Benogany to route running today, all day long. But what was the bigger blow up at Isaiah McKenzie, which I don't actually think he should have got a flag for because he just stood his ground. The Isaiah McKenzie or the Devin Singletary putting his head down and rolling over Noah? Which one was a rougher day at the office for Noah? Because it was a long, long day.
I'm telling you, bro. They had him. They handcuffed him to that rotisserie grill. They just slowly just roasted him all day long, bro.
Hey, I mean, Ice Cold says no guarantee we get Parsons. I'll tell you this much, Ice Cold. Our interior on the defense and our interior on the linebacking core keeps playing the way they are. Yeah, it's pretty much a guarantee we're probably going to have a top pick, and we're probably going to use it on Parsons, my friend, because it ain't good.
Yeah,
217 yards 1 week and 3 touchdowns against the run. The next week you come back and allow 417 yards through the air and 4 touchdowns. So, I got to ask a $1 million question, EM.
Go ahead.
What can this defense do besides take up a chunk of the salary cap?
Well, I mean, they got torched today, but I look at it. There are some things, some positives to take away defensively, okay? They played better against the run. in terms of schematics, them taking away Buffalo's running game, I thought they did a much, much better job this week as opposed to last week. I'll say that. But at the end of the day, man, Byron Jones was surely missed. Igbenogany, assumed the majority of Stephon Diggs of covering the responsibility of covering Stephon Diggs. I mean, he just took him to school at the end of the day. I mean, it's a rookie thrown into that type of situation, second game of the season. You know what I mean? He just took him to school.
Yeah.
It
every rookie, listen, especially in the first year, every rookie, what is it? It's mountains and valleys. It's highs and lows. You know what I'm saying? So,
it happens to the best of them. It happens.
And you know what? I told all of y'all. First of all, I told all of y'all when they got Stephon Diggs, he's going to be a problem. And people are like, he's not a problem. Well, guess what? Exhibit A, Stephon Diggs was a problem today.
Well, I will say this, though.
I mean, I think he was just gaming today, bro. I don't think it would have mattered who you had up against.
Oh, no.
He was going to make plays today.
I'm sorry. If Byron Jones would have would have played a complete game, he wouldn't have had this kind of impact on this, on this team, on this second.
Byron Jones was even beat before he slipped and did whatever he did to his groin. If you watch that play.
Yeah, but he was closing.
Bro, listen here.
He was closing.
Listen
he
here.
Was closing. He was closing.
Listen here, purveyor of hope. The reality is Stephon Diggs.
But did he make the play? He didn't make the play, did he?
Okay.
And he didn't make the play, though, right?
Who?
Stephon Diggs. He didn't make the play, right?
What do you mean? Which play didn't he make?
The play that Byron Jones went down on. He didn't complete the pass. So,
does it matter because he made enough plays in the rest of the game for them to win this whole thing?
Not on Byron Jones, he didn't. Is the point. So, but I'll say
Byron
this:
Jones was out. That was just a mental error where he didn't make the play, bro. Byron Jones wasn't even there.
But again, this is what I'm saying, though, bro. Even the great cornerbacks give up. Everybody gives up plays.
That's what I'm.
Look at Jalen Ramsey the other night.
Listen. Instead of getting defensive, like the Miami Dolphins, all right? Listen to what I said. I said Stephon Diggs was just a game changer today. He was in that mode. He balled out.
Yeah. And no,
competitors get into that. And that was and guess what? It didn't help that Josh Allen was also in that zone as well.
Well, all I'm saying is this. My rebuttal
they did enough against Noah Benogany and X when they targeted him that they could have stayed away from Byron and still gave us the business probably.
I disagree with that. I think Stephon Diggs would have made plays just like any. First off, let's be clear. Every cornerback gives up plays. Did you see Jalen Ramsey the other night? He gave up plays. It happens. Every cornerback gives up plays against these upper echelon wide receivers. It happens. But I'm just saying he would have had as impactful a day as Byron Jones.
You're just speculating.
Can you say is Byron Jones not a better player than Noah Benogany?
Sure.
Is Byron Jones not a better player?
Sure.
Okay, then. Well,
but he beat X when they had him up against X as well.
No, did he dominate him like he did Noah Benogany?
No,
he didn't.
Bro, he gave him the work on that touchdown where McCain didn't help.
I mean,
or was that John Brown? Let me see if
that was John Brown, and they were in a zone coverage anyway on those two plays.
Let me see if that was John Brown. Yeah, it was John Brown.
He passed him off, and he passed
him. Yeah, you're supposed to pass him off,
and Bobby McCain just didn't make the play on either.
Bobby McCain wasn't there to make the play.
Exactly. He should have been, though. That was the point. He should have been. So, no, I don't think. Now, again, I'm not taking away anything from Stephon Diggs. He gave Noah. He took him to school. He clearly took him to school. But I just don't think he would have
for 153 yards.
Yeah, I don't think he would have had as impactful a day had Byron Jones been in it.
I don't know. I don't know, man. The way their crossing routes were. The thing is, they were killing Noah in zone, not just man. So and it was the cushion on the zone, like they were killing him with they killed him on an in route because he gave him a huge cushion off of it. And I mean, I think
and that happened to a lot of them.
It just would have been that pass would have happened on Byron. The same result would have happened. He just would have got tackled.
But you know what? Again, this is the second week in a row
because they were manufacturing space not only with their route running, gaining separation, but they're
with their concepts. Those mesh concepts were killing them.
Because, bro, they were having crossing routes going basically across each other.
Exactly.
At the immediate level, and it was like guys were getting, Noah got cut up on that a few times too.
And also their receivers were consistently getting free releases off the line of scrimmage. Yeah. I just don't understand that. Again, lack of coaching. Again. Mm-hmm. I hope it's Josh Boris calling these plays. I hope it is. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it.
I'm just waiting to hear why it's the offense's fault we didn't win.
What's that?
I said I'm waiting to hear why it's the offense's fault we didn't win this week.
And again, for all y'all out there,
like last week when we went in that Patriots thing, we basically foreshadowed that it's going to get worse if these things don't get cleaned up. And here's the thing. They didn't even have to run the ball against us today.
No, they didn't.
You know why?
They didn't. They didn't.
The interior wasn't really generating pressure. Allen had a lot of clean pockets. And then on top of that, the linebackers at the second level in coverage, oh my God, they were just
horrible.
And then when you have the mixing of how bad the interior linebackers were on coverage over the middle, then you add in how bad of the day Noah Igbenogany had. You add in, let's be honest, McCain didn't have the greatest day at all. Even Eric Rowe had a few, like, on that play that got to Stephon Diggs. We still don't know how he didn't make that interception. But even Rowe had a few, and again, Kyle Van Noy coming out and being inconsistent, missing tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? It was just –
I don't know what's going on with Kyle Van Noy, bro. I really don't. I mean, he just doesn't look like the same player. And I'm talking mentally. He looks fine to me physically. He looks fast. He looks strong. Bro. It's like his head is somewhere else, bro. Yeah, I don't understand that.
Boston Singletary, you got 18 rushes for 93 yards. 10 of those rushes for 56 came from Singletary. I did notice whenever they gave to Singletary, he just had his way with getting chunk yardage. But they just didn't have to. Right. Josh Allen was sitting in the pocket and dissecting us at times, bro. It was it was painful to watch, man. I do agree with you that not having Byron Jones is a big loss, but I look at Stephon Diggs today, and sometimes, some days, people wake up and they got that baller DNA coursing through their veins.
He brought it. He made some tough high contested catches as well. He put his, he was bringing it. He brought it today, bro, no doubt. But at the end of the day, with all that being said, with the yardage total that Allen put up, in addition to him, we still were in position to take command of this football game. And
hey, can I talk about this first?
Go ahead.
Guys, because I saw some of y'all on Twitter, that throw that Preston dropped in the end zone, that was not a bad throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
It was perfect.
That was put where only Preston Williams can make the catch, because if you go back and watch it, I forget what corner it was, but he was behind Preston, and the angle he was taking on Preston was he was coming along the left side. So he would have been able to wrap his arm around potentially the left and possibly break the pass up. So that's why he was thrown behind, like a little to Preston's right, more so than in the numbers or ahead of him, leading him. So that's why that ball was placed where it was. Preston, you got to make that catch.
You have to. It hit him right in his hands. I mean, hit him right in his hand, went right through his hands.
Hit his hands and went right through them, bro. I was gonna say, holy.
I mean, man. And for all these people out here, please stop with this blaming Ryan Fitz. Please stop it.
And here's another question.
Y'all need to stop, man.
Right, and Damien's right. Why did Preston Williams jump, bro? Like, you had no reason to jump. Just let that come into your let that come in to your side rib cage. and bucket it in and let's go.
And for people out there that want to blame Ryan Fitzpatrick, please stop it. Stop. Fitzpatrick is not the issue on these first 2 games of the season. He's clearly not. Anybody, like I said, Stevie and Ray Charles can clearly see that Ryan Fitzpatrick is not the issue. It's this defense. First week it was run defense. This week it was the secondary. All defensive side of the football has been the glaring issues of this team.
And here's the thing, guys, because one thing we did highlight, if you remember last week, why were we so adamant about stopping that run was one of the reasons was time of possession, right? Mm-hmm. Well, last week we only had the ball for 1:25 in the third quarter, so the offense wasn't able to get into a rhythm, put points on the board, get it going. Today we actually won the possession battle because they were killing us in the air instead of on the ground, right?
They were making too many chunk plays.
We had more first downs, but like EM saying, they had more chunk plays, right? They were getting more. So, go over here quick. We had 27 first downs. Buffalo had 24. We converted 5 of 12 on third down. They converted 5 of 10. We were 0-1 on fourth down, that Preston Williams drop. We had 101 rushing yards. They had 111. That's including Josh Allen. And again, that's that big chunk. I think Josh Allen finished with 4 carries for 18 yards, but one of those was a 16-yard carry. And guys, go watch that play. That's all on your boy Jerome Baker. All on him. Passing yards, Miami had 309 today. Buffalo had 420. So, we gave up 1 sack. They had 3. No interceptions, which was good to see them protect the ball. Great punting average again for the second week in a row for Matt Hack. 3 penalties to their 6. They had 55 yards on penalties. We only had 20. Each team lost a fumble. In the possession battle, we won 31 minutes and 5 seconds to 28 minutes and 55 seconds.
And if any other NFL game, if you look at that box score right there, you would automatically say, if you didn't see the final score, you'd automatically say the Dolphins won that football game for the most part. Time of possession, you know what I mean? They had a relatively clean game, but the difference was just that Josh Allen, they killed us with chunk yardage. And that 400 yards passing in the NFL generally doesn't happen that often. So that's what I'm saying. You just got to tip your hat to Josh Allen. The approach was exactly what the Dolphins needed to do to win this game, to confine him in the pocket, force him to be precise with the football, make good decisions, anticipate the whole 9. And these are areas, like we talked about on our show Friday, these are areas that he has consistently struggled with since he's been in the National Football League. But the player we saw today, this dude has he has taken – his development has gone up 2 notches. Under duress, guys have him in their grasp, and he's throwing like that 35-yard strike he threw up the sideline to Stephon Diggs when he gave Noah that kind of stutter step, that double move. Yeah. And whoever, I think it was Christian Wilkins, had him in his grasp. And this dude his feet are not set. He's not upright. He's basically almost falling down. And a flick of the wrist, boom, up the sideline. The ball is perfect. A laser. Bro, it's maybe 5 quarterbacks in the entire NFL that can make that throw in that type of situation. You just got to tip your hat to him, man. This kid has arrived. I didn't see it coming. I know you didn't, because y'all been killing Josh Allen since day one. And I've been on that train as well.
I said Stephon Diggs was going to help his growth, bro. What do you mean? I was the one that was out here saying – buddy, I was the one saying that they're going to win the division. Everyone else was the one saying
No. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about, we agreed that Stephon Diggs would help. But this, I think Josh Allen, again, I'm saying I agree Stephon Diggs helped tremendously. But what I'm seeing from his game, from clean mechanics, you know what I mean? He just looks like a different player. He just like in it, and that's not Stephon Diggs. All due respect to Stephon Diggs, that's not him. That's Josh Allen. So at the end of the day, man, you just see the growth all over his game.
let's go over some next gen stats here, guys. So if you look at Ryan Fitzpatrick here, his aggression rate was almost over 40% last week, and it was down to about 27.7%. And that means tight window throws, guys, if you remember correctly, right? Within a yard of the completion or the incompletion. But here's the staggering thing a little bit here. If you look at his time to throw today, he had the least amount of time to throw today. He averaged about 2.19 seconds, and you really did kind of see it on that drive where Gasecki, that final touchdown drive, where Gasecki had, I believe it was 3 receptions for about 39 yards in that touchdown. Fitzpatrick was taking a lot of hits after he was throwing that ball in the fourth quarter, man, and even a bit through that third quarter. He was making the read, he was making the play, but he was getting clocked as soon as he got rid of that ball. That's a little staggering when the next closest to him is Dwayne Haskins at about 2.3. That goes again, another testament of how well Ryan Fitzpatrick made plays today. There was even if you guys go back and watch a throw that really, really impressed me. It was in the third quarter. It was 1st and 10. And it was a great throw off his back foot into a tight window on the hitch route from Fitz to Parker for about 9 yards. The ball had really, really good zip on it. And I was like, you know what? I like that, and he did it off his front foot. So I was really, really impressed with that. Mechanically, he looked way better this week
definitely.
Especially in the upper body than what he did last week. I don't know what was going on last week. Didn't look like he was pushing the ball really at all today. So, yeah, I liked what I saw in terms of the liveness from his arm and from the mechanics. I still think, this is a ball game. They get it. We should be 1-1, bro.
Yeah, they let it slip away, man. It's a lot of blame, just like the first game. It's a lot of blame to go around. Maybe not as much this week, but, at the end of the day, they let this one get away. And, just coming down to that, when they were on the goal line, the 1 yard line, and you opt to try to spread this defense out and throw the football in the end zone as opposed to, man, look, just line up, get a hat on a hat. If they stop us, they stop us.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm like, bro, what are you doing, Brian Flores? What are you doing, Chan Gailey?
And you saw
what I mean?
Saw a lot of 11-man heavy again because again, they were highlighting Gaskin and Breda, right? Like Howard didn't get his second carry till the second half.
And he looks totally
slow
out there.
He looks
he looks indecisive.
Following the wrong
it's like
blocks, like
he looks he looks like he doesn't want to take on contact. I mean, this is 2 games. It's a small sample size, but I'm beginning to think, man, we whiffed on him in free agency, bro. We could have used that money and that could have been Jadeveon Clowney's money. You know what I mean? Or Michael Pierce's money. You know what I'm saying? So coaching decisions. Okay. I love Brian Flores, and I'm not going, I'm not here to I'm still I'm still riding with him, and I'm still let this situation play out. But again, questionable free agency decisions, coaching decisions in game, they're starting to stack up. What you're saying, they're starting to stack up.
Another alarming thing, guys, too, I just looked it up while we were talking, was I said earlier that I noticed, look what I just found, because I decided to go over to the next gen for receivers. I said I wasn't noticing a lot of separation from Parker and Preston Williams at times today. And I just looked up the next gen stats I'll share with you guys. Preston Williams had the second worst in terms of separation. He only averaged 1.2 yards per separation on a 2.2 yard cushion. Devontae Parker was the 5th worst, averaging 1.4 yards of separation on about a 4.8 yard per cushion. Preston Williams, out of all the targeted air yards, he got about 18%. And then Devontae Parker got almost 25% of the targeted air yards. Not really good. And then let's see if we can find Gasecki here. Gasecki, and look at Stephon Diggs, 2.1 yards average per separation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kill you all day. Like Cole Beasley, 2.4 yards average per separation. And there's Mike Gesicki. And look at John Brown. John Brown and Mike Gesicki each had 5.1 yards of a cushion, and they each had 2.6 yards of separation. And because they were able to generate that separation, each of them saw over 30% of the targeted air yards. Gesicki saw over 40%, sitting at 37.7%. So it's kind of crazy when Gesicki is out here getting more separation than guys that can run 4.4s. And Devontae, who won like Preston Williams, we've highlighted the crispness of his route running and how much he's improved over the last 2 years. That's, if these guys aren't getting separation even in zone, it's one thing in man. When I start not seeing separation in zone, I'm going to be watching the All-22 this week heavily for the play calling, bro.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
now I start to look at that and be like, okay, we're talking about a predominantly zone-based team, and we're seeing this lack of separation. I got to start looking at with the play calling a little bit more here. Because separation, especially in those seams and those gaps in the zone coverage. But then again, at the same time, when he's only getting a time to throw average of 2.19 seconds, do they have time to get into those seams in the zone coverage?
Right. Yeah.
Question.
Exactly. Yeah. I would agree with that. But I will say this, even when Buffalo opted to bring pressure, excuse me, and they went into, man-to-man coverage, Tre'Davious White is, he's a top 5 cornerback in the league. And I just think Devontae isn't, as far as Devontae Parker is concerned, I just think Devontae isn't 100% healthy. That's what I think is what's somewhat hampering his game at this point. But Preston Williams, that's 2 games in a row. I attribute that to being he's still a relatively raw player. He hasn't learned the nuances of his position. He's not where he needs to be. He's a player that gets over based off his size, his athleticism. He's still a raw player, and he's faced, 2 of the better secondaries. Although they are different in their approaches, but they're still 2 of the better secondaries in the league. And he's just needs to, his development. He's just got work to do. He's crazy. His development.
They're 2 of the best secondaries in the league. One's heavy man, one's heavy zone. But they're 2 of the best. Bills are the best. You could argue are the best at running zone, and you could argue that the Patriots are the best at running press man. So we've seen basically the top tier of each coverage scheme in the first 2 weeks, right? And guys, I've dropped that. We got 157 people in the room. I'm dropping that StreamYard link. If you guys want to come on, vent about that loss, talk about that loss, that StreamYard link is in the comments section right now as we hit that 45-minute mark. And while we allow y'all to come backstage, there's 155 in the room. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. If you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Phinside. Become a Phinside the NFL patron if you want. Patreon.com/Phinside the NFL. And as usual, we're going to shout out each and every Patreon because we've got 13 of you that were willing to become Patreon. So we got to show y'all love every chance we get on every show.
Absolutely.
And as usual, we start off with the original OGs of our Patreon, Rhino Sith and Infinite Trauma. Then we got Fake Spike 94. We got Shake Money. We got Joe.
Shake.
We got KA All Day. We got Ramon Casillas. We got Seth. We got Mr. Two Bits. We got Miguel Angel Hernandez. And then we've got, of course, the homie Ricketic. Then we got Slim Pickens. And we got Victor Scott Ramos. Thank you all. And you guys,
absolutely,
I don't know if you're taking advantage of your Patreon levels. And here's a perfect opportunity. We're opening the show backstage. If you're a Patreon, you have automatic If we got to start shaving people off, you get to stay. You got first right. You get bumped to the front of the line if you're a Patreon. And whoa, that backstage is filled up. I wasn't even paying attention. All right, so we're gonna go. This is y'all chance to vent. I'm gonna drop that link. I'll keep dropping it while everyone talks, and while we all interact, I guess. And we got a couple homies back here. Looks like we got some new people, and we got some of the older people. Oh, Shake Money heard your shake, and he answered it right away.
Shake.
So, what's good, Havoc?
What's good, homie?
What's good, fellas? How's it going?
It could be better.
It could be.
Great one to more. What's good, homie? Great one. We'll wait for you to come.
Great
Ethan,
one.
What's good, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, man?
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Okay. Let me really ruin my day, but
yeah, really, eh? I'll keep adding people and we'll go here. I'll give you, because it's your first time, I'll give you the floor first. Shake Money, what's good, brother?
What's good, brothers? How you doing?
Shake. What's good, homie?
Living in the land of L's. Todd Labroto, what's good, homie? All right.
Man,
you got it. There you go. You're all right. Ethan.
Yeah.
First time ever on here that I can recollect. Give us your thoughts, bro.
Look, I just think we're really feeling Minka's loss at this point. Like, our secondary, they just drove down the field so easily, especially in the fourth quarter. Like, after they had the goal line stand they drove down?
Yeah, I believe so. Mm-hmm. I believe so, yeah.
I was ripping my hair out. That was just and I don't know why they didn't put X on.
Yeah, I agree. I would have. Yeah, I agree with that. I was going to say that. I totally forgot about that. I would have. I would have had. I mean, Igbenogany. I mean, he was just. I mean, it's nothing he could do with Stephon Diggs. I would have switched. I would have made that change and had X travel with him at stretches during the game. But
man,
I don't know, man.
I don't even know if it would have made much of a difference, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The way just collectively our defense has been the first 2 weeks, and I hate to hammer home the point, but our fan base has never seen a top to bottom rebuild. They've seen us have a couple veterans, hanging around, and we add some more veterans during the offseason, but I don't think we've had bad seasons with veterans. I don't think we've ever really cleared the deck and just start from brand new. And that's what this looks like. Sometimes some days you can pass the ball, you look like you can pass the ball. Some days you look like you can't pass the ball. Sometimes you can run the ball. Sometimes you can't run the ball. I mean, with all the players that some of our fan base want to throw out, we're going to have water boys playing next week.
And why didn't they put in Breida? Like, why are they giving Gaskin the ball so much? I don't understand that at all.
Well, I think he's a pleasant surprise.
He's been productive.
Gaskins look like, to me, he looks like the most complete back on this roster right now.
Yeah.
All fairness to him. I mean,
he averaged 6.5 yards a carry today.
He looks like again, that's why I said I think we whiffed on that Jordan Howard signing in free agency. I'm gonna reserve that for a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because 4 weeks, that's enough of a sample size where you can say, well, God damn, we missed on that one. You know what I mean? But I'm going to wait.
And here's the thing about Gaskin over Breida. Gaskin's more willing and more able to hit holes in the interior than Breida is. Breida looks to kick it out, bounce it out a little too much. And, he doesn't shy away from contact, but if Breida runs, like if he can avoid it, he will.
Yeah. And something about Gaskins as well. He looks more explosive than I ever thought he was, man.
Bro, watch the college tape, bro.
He's looking good.
He looks explosive than that 4.6 or 4.58 that he timed in at the combine. He might have just got lost faster than that.
He might have just got lost in the sauce last season when we had roughly 25 running backs come in and out.
No, you know what happened? Kalen Ballage was taking his snaps.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, lack of coaching.
If this is how they're going to
lack of coaching.
On one play today, I saw Gaskins break more tackles than Ballage's career.
Hey,
And did you see? And what was
that ain't a
impressive?
high number, Todd.
Bro,
That
he
ain't
was
a high
dragging.
number.
Bro, Gaskin was dragging people at times.
He was. And did you see that guy when that safety had a free shot at him, and he was stopped behind. I mean, he was stopped for a loss, at least about a 4-yard loss, but he was able to get out, to shed off the contact and gain 4 yards out of that. I'm like, bro, if that was Kalen Balaj, he would have been dead in the water, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, so Gaskins, from what I'm seeing, his vision. Like I said, he's a lot better athlete than what I thought he was.
But
He looks like the most complete guy on our back, right? On our team right now.
Was that the one where it was off the screen pass and he was 2 or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
And he ended up gaining like 2 or 3 yards after he broke.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, in the
I
first
think so.
quarter, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
So-
why
In the
I'm
notes.
frustrated. Because he should have been in there on that goal line stand that we lost. He's the one who got us down there.
Yeah.
Why are you going to take him out?
Yeah. Yeah. I
See,
mean,
his
Why
carry-
not? He's too little. Why are you gonna keep Gaskin in on the goal line?
That's the problem. That's the problem because of his size. That's probably. I'm not saying they're right. I'm saying that's probably why they're going to Howard.
Well,
Yeah.
look.
I'm not saying they're right.
Listen.
you got to give Jordan Howard something to do.
Exactly.
Listen.
He ain't doing nothing
The
for
problem,
us.
I know, the problem with Jordan Howard is he's too indecisive when we do give him the football in goal line situation with
Bro.
Gaskins. With Gaskins, he is seeing it as the holes develop, and he is making the play on time. That's what you want. It's not necessarily size and girth.
Bro,
There's
can I
something
say
going on
this?
with
Damn.
Howard. We don't know.
Damn.
Can I say
Why
this?
did Adrian Peterson get traded off the Saints?
What do you mean? Why? I mean, I don't.
Why did he get traded? Why did he
Alvin
get
Kamara-
traded?
Alvin Kamara came.
No, he
came
cannot
up.
split carries. Jordan Howard is that kind of back where he cannot split
No,
carries.
I don't want to
Well,
hear
let me
that. I
tell
don't want to
you
hear
this.
that.
Let me tell
I
you
don't want to
this.
hear that.
I don't know
wanna hear
how.
that.
I don't know
Excuses.
how, bro. I don't know how Jordan Howard isn't a virgin because he's showing me this year he can't find the hole, bro.
He
And
can't.
that's your
He
issue
can't.
with that guy right now, bro.
Can't.
Like he's not following the proper lead blocks. Is not meant. And you could. I mean, that's not a rhythm. Following lead blocks, that comes down to vision.
Exactly.
That's why you see when they're the 11-man personnel spread out wide, they're going with more of a scat back look because these guys are not only quicker and more explosive. Right now, Gaskins is finding the holes, and if it's not there, he's either making himself skinny to fit through it, or he's creating them himself.
But
It's the ghost of
and I'll
Balaj.
say-
I'm telling you, man. The
and I'll
ghost of
say
Balaj.
this, and I'll say this about Miles Gaskin. He might have the size of a scat back, but he doesn't run like one.
no, he runs like a
He
power.
runs behind his. He runs like he's 230 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
I
know,
think the thing is, you bring out Jordan Howard, you take away Gaskins as a presence in the passing, so they know what you're going to do. Gaskins
This is true.
If you would have kept him in on that goal line, he's a threat out the backfield. He's also a threat to take it around the edge or up the middle. You do not know what he's going to do. And Jordan
I like what
Howard
I'm
right
seeing
now,
from Gaskins.
Mr. Balaj is 1.8. That's sad.
You might as well just cut ties with him right now.
yeah, I mean,
Howard's
Jordan
under a
Howard,
yard to carry.
something's going on with him, man, because there's something going on with him we don't know.
What is this?
Because
The
he
land
scored
of
that
no
touchdown.
avatars?
He scored that touchdown. He looked like he robbed somebody. He did not look happy to get that TD on his stat line, considering the whole team did all the legwork to get to the 1 yard line, and he came in, took the touchdown. He was like, "Nah, man, don't dap me up. Don't this or that." He didn't. He isn't. Something's going on with him, man. It's the ghost of Balaj, man. It's the ghost of 1.8 hamstrings.
No, it's just Gaskins has taken the bull by the horn since training camp.
He
heard
has.
the reports come out, consistent reports from different individuals, okay, different media platforms. He has just taken the ball by the horns, and I think they need to scrap that Jordan Howard experiment, and they just need to. They
Not
need
working.
to.
You the man
They need
want
to
to
build
talk about
things.
him fucking being in the fold.
First of all,
He ain't nothing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
Hold on. Stop. Hold on a sec. First of all, let's watch the F-bombs because I monetized this. Second
who
of
was that
all,
anyway? Who was that coming to me anyway?
ball game. Second of
Oh
all,
man. Anyway, stop it.
told
Now you
y'all-
want to show
I
up.
told y'all Gaskin would take Balaj's job, and now it looks like he ain't done with Balaj, with just Balaj. He out here trying to take Jordan Howard's job now, and it's working.
And
Hey,
when did
take
I
it.
ever say when did I ever say Jordan Howard was going to be the bell cow? I said it was going to be a multi-back
Right.
approach, is what I said. I never
But
said they brought him in to be the bell cow.
Hey,
Stop
first
it.
off, reason I apologize for the language if that was me. I don't
Yeah,
recall.
check,
All I'm
get
here's
your
what I'm
mind
saying.
right. Get your mind
Yeah,
right.
that
Get your
was me.
mind right. Get your mind right.
We brought him in,
Get
right?
your mind right. Get your
We brought
mind
him
right.
in, and most people, I don't know the stream, I don't remember that, but most people assumed he would be the guy.
Not me.
I never said
Ball
you ain't never
game.
heard me say
Ball
that.
game.
You ain't
Remember I
never heard
told
me
you.
say that. You ain't
Ball-
never heard me say that.
Ball game.
See, what I said, what my take was, I said they were going to use Breda and Gaskin they're doing what I said. I said they were going to use Breda and Gaskin for the long field, the majority of the field, and then once it got in the red zone, that's when it'll be Jordan Howard time. It's turned into when they get to the goal line, it's Jordan Howard time.
Yeah.
When
You
they're
got
in the
that
red
prediction. You got that prediction matrix.
And here's the thing as well. Even if you did, based off his contract, he's the highest paid player at that position. Anybody would make the assumption that they bring the type, especially the type of back that he is.
Thunder and Lightning.
Okay, anybody would make the assumption like, okay, well, they're from a financial standpoint, he's the biggest investment. The assumption would be that he would be the bell cow back. He's just not giving you production right now. It happens.
What I'm seeing is Gaskins and Breida have great vision. Jordan Howard's vision is not well.
Exactly.
They're smaller guys being able to get into smaller creases. It's not like the O-line is freaking really making holes big enough.
They're making plays and he ain't.
They're able to get into those spaces and get.
However you want to say it, they are making plays and he's not.
Hold
You
on.
can try to justify it and try to make excuses all you want. They're making plays and he's not.
Who doing that?
You saying, well, it's not like the whole line is doing this.
I wasn't a fan of the signing in the first place.
Stop it. I don't recall that.
If you
where's the receipt?
You would say that, but I never was.
Where's the receipt? Where's the receipt?
I will say this. I have it in my notes multiple times today of Jesse Davis and Kinley basically parting the Red Seas. And even on that touchdown run, Howard followed behind Kinley and Davis, basically blocking down to the left on a double team. And then Karras pulled to the right, stuffed up the middle. And then Hunt was on the play. They had him stacked out as an extra lineman on the right, and he wiped out the outside pressure. And then basically Howard just followed Cox and Smith as lead blockers because they had they had Smith line in too. So I did see Kinley and Davis. There were a few times Davis, to me, actually had a few brain farts, but Kinley and Austin Jackson, I continue to be impressed.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
This game was lost in coaching, man.
Kinley looked better pulling this week than he did last week in the run game too. I'll give him that.
This game was lost due to coaching.
They just looked like they would belong. They just like they belong.
Coaching and Preston Williams not making a play on fourth down, but I'll put on coaching more than Preston.
Yeah.
I mean, but you don't get down to the 2-yard line and then you can get in on 3 downs. Just take the points.
Well, I was yelling, take the point before I throw it. But I'm not throwing it on Preston because, like I always say,
bro,
if it comes down,
he shouldn't have been in that position. You take the point.
If it comes down to one play, you didn't do enough to win.
So,
yeah.
What about?
That makes sense. I mean, I think
it's a lot.
60 minutes. You got 60 minutes. It shouldn't come down to one play because if it did, at the end of the day, you can do enough. And our defense did not do enough.
When are they going to put in Lynn Bowden? That's who I'm very excited for.
He was in today.
He was in?
Yeah, I think he had a reception for like -1 yard or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he felt like
this is probably limited.
He's gonna play. His play is gonna be based on how much he understands and learns the playbook.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be hitching my wagon to Lynn Bowden to get us back on get us where we need to be. So
no Malcolm Perry sightings either.
We gotta get healthy first.
Yeah.
You dinged up all over the place, right? I mean, Preston can't get off a press.
I mean, none of our wide receivers can get off the press so far this season. They haven't displayed that at all.
Buffalo did a great job of getting their guys in motion, though. You see motion, you saw motion all over the place. I still don't see that element yet.
Yeah.
I think the Miami Dolphins, they run the second least amount of motion pre-snap of any team in the NFL.
But if you have wide receivers that struggle to get off of press coverage, why wouldn't you bring them in motion?
Yeah.
That's all Shane Gailey. That's a Shane Gailey issue.
I do agree with reason with what he said. That I wanted to see the O-line was against Buffalo's pass rush, and that's good.
Yeah. Jerry Hughes is one of the better players in the league. Ed Oliver is what he is. They have a formidable front, so the O-line is not the problem.
Nope.
So, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, by the way, is not the problem either. I'm going to say that while Ballgame got his behind on this panel.
I don't have no problem with Ryan Fitzpatrick today. He didn't throw 3 picks today.
I thought I heard you last week on a different platform, hopping on that that train. This other individual on this other platform was killing him last week.
I'm gonna say what I said then. Ryan Fitzpatrick is what he is. He is what he is. You know what you're getting with him.
Can I say this? I want to say this. FM, I see you right now. You let me know what social media outlet you got, because we see you talking sideways, my dude. That's why you got no wrench, my friend. So you better check yourself and not be talking out of pocket. You won't be losing wrenches, son. All right, continue on. Who's next?
Reason, EM, and Ballgame. I have a question for you guys. This is to do with the defense. As a defensive coordinator, how do you counter a team who was constantly stacking the field? And we were trying to play man-to-man coverage the whole game, but they were stacking the receivers on one side on the field side of the field. How do you counter that as a defensive coordinator when you're trying to play?
Yeah, you got to play zone. You got to play zone against the bunch in the stack. You got to play zone.
I think that was a problem. I think Miami got too. They fell in love with zone. With man too much in the first half. They should have been more. They should have switched things up and gave him different looks during stretches of the first half, in my opinion. So he just, you knew. And again, when you're bringing from an offense, when you're bringing your receiver in motion, and you're seeing a cornerback travel with him, you're telegraphing what coverage you're in.
They already know what you're in.
They already know what you're in. So he was just sitting back there. There was very little pressure in the first half on him. So he was just sitting back, picking and choosing, and but he was making the plays. And at the end of the day, you got to give him credit. He made the plays when they presented themselves.
And if you're in a stack or in a bunch formation, the only guy that you can really affect in that formation is the apex receiver. And if they're spread enough, the other guys still get free releases. So it's not like you're really getting a hand on them. So they're really running free in space. And if that apex receiver can beat the guy that's jamming him or the guy that's assigned to him, then he's open too, because there's nobody else behind him. Because the only thing else you got is a safety, because the running backs still have run fit
bunch that I saw,
run fit responsibilities first.
The bunch
but this is where
we're on top of each other, directly on top of each other.
That's stacked. You're only going to get your hands on one guy.
I tell you what,
but where I'm critical of this coaching staff was when they didn't. Have a lot of movement up front. They were giving free releases. I was like, man, what are they doing? And it was killing them with the mesh concepts, killing them. And that's kryptonite to a man defense.
Yeah. What should have happened is, remember that sack that we got on him, on Allen? That was. Now we should have gone ahead and started playing. We should have confused them more. We should have went on the next coverage.
Who had that sack?
91 Agba.
Yeah.
Can we?
What you do is, I didn't see them play enough mind games. You go up in zone, back off. You got to play mind games too.
Can we slant our defensive line? Is our defensive line athletic enough to do that? To slant the defensive line to one side, to overload one side of the offensive line to cause.
But then they'll kill you on the other side, though.
Yeah, they'll kill you with the run.
If they'll just kill you with the run, they'll just play action to death all day.
But you only do that. You only overload and stack, the left side or the right side of the line when you're in passing situations, in my opinion, because you know the run is not a threat. Because if you stack overload one side of the line, they're just gonna check and go to the other side of the line, which it becomes a number game at that point.
They don't even
do that in passing situations.
They don't even have to check. They can just roll Josh Allen out that way and let him run. If he sees
I noticed that he wasn't running a lot.
Listen,
Josh Allen wasn't running a lot during this game. He usually runs.
That's what that was.
He didn't have to.
That was the most impressive thing about him. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about this kid's development. I'm telling you, on all levels, he was clean. He was sound mechanically. I mean, he was throwing with timing. He was throwing with anticipation. I mean, again, there are some things we could have do that could have hampered him a little more. But this kid, this is not the player we've seen the last 2 years. I'm sorry. You just got to tip your hat to him and say, damn.
And at a certain point, we have to realize, you know, this rebuild isn't microwave oatmeal. Like this, like we got the ingredients. May not have all the ingredients, and the ingredients that we have haven't come together yet. So at a certain point, you know, I think we have to understand where we are so we can calibrate our expectations properly. We just did a top to bottom. We just did a top to bottom rebuild, and you know, at this point, it looks like a team that's rebuilding.
I told each and every
it looks like a team that's rebuilding.
I told each and every one of you when this who's got the mad noise going on in the background right now? It's crazy. Who's got people talking in the background? I gotta really go through and mute each and every one of you guys right now.
Not me.
On Tunsil, it was you, son. It's one thing. It is one thing to look good on paper. It's another thing to go out there and perform. And I kept telling everyone in the comments, and I kept telling everyone who came on here and even whispered the word playoffs to temper your expectations. And this is exactly why. Now, I thought what you were seeing from the front seven in terms of growing pains, you would see from the offensive line, but all it did was just flip-flop.
Yeah.
And this is, listen, in a 16-game season, 2 games, that's an eighth of your season is already off the schedule, and you're 0-2. So, and exactly, the both division games that mean even more when it comes down to it. So, you better get your cards in order. You better get your house in order. And for God's sake, if it was Brian Flores calling the defensive plays today and not Josh Boyer, we are up that creek with no paddle. I am hoping and praying. If I was in the Dolphins media, that's the hard question I would be asking. Who's calling the plays? Was Josh Boyer handling most of the play calling? Because I would be trying to find out. Because if it's Brian Flores, we got problems.
This defense, I tell you, man, this is this is where the team made the biggest investment in terms of free agency money in addition to draft capital. I mean, you look, the first game, I mean, on all levels. I mean, it's just been what's that?
Byron.
He's breaking up.
What's that?
He's breaking up.
Frozen.
His connection.
Yeah.
I just want to say,
go ahead, Ethan.
I just want to say that, it's our biggest investment, but seeing Kyle Van Noy get trucked by Josh Allen was not.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah, that's not good tape.
Let me ask you this, Ethan. Was that our defense summed up today, though?
Yeah,
in that one play, that was our defense basically summed up in one play.
Josh Allen, from what I saw, he trucked about half of our defense on that one play.
Yeah,
Van Noy just got it at the end.
And credit to him, he's slippery even when not wet. But that was not a good look.
Hey, but I will say this: 0-2 feels different this year than it does last year.
Yeah, we're not losing.
We could have gotten away with a W. It snuck out a W
in both games. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look, we're not out here getting blown out.
We're
not out here. Yeah, we're not out here getting blown out. We're not out here walking into games talking about, man, I hope we don't lose by 3 touchdowns today, like we did last season. And it's like I said, before the season, it's going to be slow. But the beginning of the season, particularly talking about a rebuilding team with no preseason, it's going to be slow. This is their preseason. These guys literally just met each other about a month and a half ago. And we're out here trying to put playoff and AFC East and Super Bowls on their head. Man, it's time to wake up. Wake up and smell the Folgers. We're in the middle of a rebuild right now. And although we've put a lot of money into defense, it has to come together.
See, I'm not like all these people. I had us starting off, and this is with the Bills' victory. I had us starting off at 2-5, but there's a stretch of football where, in my predictions, we go 6-1, and it's only that Chiefs loss. And then I basically had us going in to the Las Vegas game 8-6, and then we lose, and then we go in to Buffalo 8-7, and we lose again in December. But there is a very winnable stretch of football games in the schedule. The problem is you don't start seeing it till past week 7, really.
Yeah.
Now, reason. When do we play San Francisco? Because they just lost their quarterback.
5.
They just lost their quarterback.
And they lost Bosa. And
they lost Garoppolo as well.
Yeah.
For 4 weeks.
And they lost.
San Francisco losing a lot.
And they lost Raheem. They lost Raheem Mostert today, and they lost Nick Bosa's done for the season.
And Solomon Thomas is done for the season.
And the Nick Bosa tore his right ACL.
Yeah.
That's the same one he tore in high school.
And Solomon Thomas tore his ACL.
Listen, we have issues.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up, but there's from both games there are positives that we could take from both games. You know, these are two of the better teams in the leagues.
Yeah.
These are still two of the, you know, we'll see just how good New England is tonight.
They don't have Richard Sherman either right now, right?
No.
He's out for 6 weeks. He's on IR.
I'll tell you right now, Seattle going to give us the work, though. You better be ready for that one. Can New Style says, Reason, what do you think of the O-line today? Did they do enough to protect Tua when he finally starts? I said this earlier. I noticed Kinley. Last week I noticed he had problems with pulling to his left in the run game. Today he looked solid. You know, Jesse Davis was the one who I had more issues with. Austin Jackson. The only really bad play you could there's 2 bad plays again. And one of them again was on Eric Flowers pushing his man into Austin Jackson. So, you know, I think our offensive line has been one of the few consistent bright spots for 2 weeks. I think, you know, everything we thought we were going to see from the secondary, we're seeing more of that from the offensive line. This offensive line looks like a top 20 offensive line right now. This offensive line looks like in 3 years, it could be a top 15, top 10 offensive line if they keep building it properly and guys keep growing and developing, because I think they're eventually going to replace Jesse Davis and Ted Karras, obviously. So you pick up a Creed Humphrey this year. You pick up, you let Jesse Davis get another year. You pick up another tackle the year after. Next thing you know, you got something special. But this offensive line, it's been a brighter spot than the wide receiving core. It's been more consistent than what we've seen from the tight ends, because Gesicki really was kind of a non-factor in week 1. It's been better than the run game for the most part. It's been better than the front 7 of our defense, and today proved it's been better than our secondary. Yeah. And it was better than what Fitz was in game 1, but Fitz was very good today. But the most consistent thing has been our offensive line, and kudos to our offensive line, and kudos to Scott Marshall. With no preseason and 2 rookies, our offensive line coach was able to get a more than competent offensive line in the first 2 weeks against 2 pretty good defenses.
Is Dieter still on the team?
I'm sorry?
Dieter?
Yeah, he is. He's the backup center.
Yeah.
And Reason, 2 different style of defenses. Because Belichick loads his up for the run. Buffalo likes the pass rush, and they've handled both.
Yeah. I mean, talk about pass rush, something we haven't seen yet this season. But what I will say, you want to talk about standouts, particularly a special team standout. I mean, Mac Hollins is out here. Mac Hollins on special teams. He is. I mean, he did some good things against New England in the first half, doing good things again. I mean,
Bro,
I mean, this guy has taken his Wingstop uniform, thrown it in the trash, and lit it on fire. This guy ain't going back. Hey, Mac Hollins on his last day at Wingstop. Mac Hollins gave everyone the finger. He ain't going back.
So check this out. In my notes, I got black.
Shout out to Australia, as always.
Okay, easy. Jazz at 803 is who he's shouting out. All right.
No. There's another one too. Canoe
confirmed. Because I'm getting on this guy with this Australia because he ain't shutting out any countries, and he's not even shutting out. Yo, bro, do I got to be the person? Where's the shout out to Africa, Havoc? Anyways.
Where are the African subscribers at?
There you go.
Damn, he didn't go there. He didn't go there, did he? Did he go there?
Shout out to Egypt, where knowledge came from. So, blackout. Well, you know, algebra and mathematics came from one of the more less educated African continents. So, which is actually crazy. So, Africa, shout out for our existence and where we're at in this world to Africa. So, yo, blackout. Then my next play is literally second quarter, 3rd and 9 minutes left. I got bad throw by Fitz into a closing window to Ford, and Dotson misses a should-be pick. Had 2 open underneath routes, could have hit Laird, and then Gaskin could lead block. Had Parker near the left sideline, but would have been a tight window throw. The next line in capitals, Mac Hollins downs a punt, LOL, EMdolphinfan.
Okay.
So I was thinking
of you,
bro.
The homie.
He didn't get hurt. He didn't get hurt.
Yeah, he didn't get hurt.
Special teams.
And he hasn't got hurt yet.
Hack or Hawk, our best player by far. He's Pro Bowl. These past 2 weeks, he's been incredible. So Matt Hollins,
he has been.
He's been good.
I'd agree with that.
Just like
I'd agree with that.
It was a good job, but man, Hack, he is incredible. And I just want to say, if Jakeem Grant continues to return punts, I don't know if I'll be able to continue watching. Every time he receives a punt, it's like it takes my breath away. It's either a bobble or it's going to be a fumble. You got
it's a Rolades moment.
You got to
get the Rolades out, man.
Yeah.
Even the pass Jakeem haul in. I mean, that thing was like right up here, like it wasn't like secure. You know what I mean? Like, man, I thought they took him off punt return duties.
Yeah, my heart dropped when he bobbled that. I'll tell you that much.
And how many he does it every game. Every game he bobbles something.
This is why, man. It doesn't hurt to call up to activate a Mac Cole and just have him back there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Grant isn't dependable. You're worried that Preston Williams is going to be sent to the IR with one hit. So,
well, I mean, Matt Cole,
don't say Mac Hollins, bro, right now. Don't you dare say that name.
No, I'm saying you can't just, that just tells me those guys are just not up to speed. Why they're not,
Well, brother, returning punts is not, it's not rocket science, bro.
But still, if they felt they offered value in that regard, they would be on the 50. They would be active.
Yeah, but this is the coaching staff that feels like Jerome Baker adds value to coverage.
That is a fact.
Well,
Well,
I mean, hold on. This is a coaching staff that thinks Jerome Baker and Landon Roberts are the answer in the middle. We just saw Landon Roberts get choke slammed in game. Week 1, this man with pads on, picked this man up and threw him into the ground.
Yeah,
there's a player in Penn State that we need to draft.
What's his name?
And see, hey, look, now you know why. Look, the issues we have on the interior. Remember that Laramie Tunsil trade? Remember who they would insist upon trading for? It wasn't Jadeveon Clowney. It's been Dark McKinney, and now you understand why.
Yeah.
Hey, Havoc. Parsons, middle linebacker.
Oh, bro, we just need a middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Any middle linebacker. Jerome Baker ain't it. I mean, I was watching the first quarter of this game and all the previous game.
The only thing I don't like about Jerome is I see on running.
That's all I can say about him.
he lets the running back come to him. He doesn't attack the play, and that's what kills
Exactly.
the play.
I mean, that's been his MO. Is he doesn't want to engage? Is his lack of willingness to engage the O line in contact in order to make the right read and be in his right gap?
He's just not a match. He's just not a natural middle linebacker. He hadn't played that position long enough to develop that skill set. It's like any position. The only way you develop is through repetition.
But it's not even about it's not even about havoc. It's not even about not wanting to engage. It's about when he engages, he can't get off the blocks. He can't.
Yeah.
And another thing is you saw tons of examples today why, especially in coverage, but also in the run game, he's terrible in traffic. He caught you know how many times I have in my notes today, just in the first half of me catching, and I haven't even watched the all 22 yet, of me catching Jerome Baker over pursuing again. He was doing it all. His first quarter was trust me, it was a disaster.
Classic Jerome Baker material.
Lack of football IQ.
Yeah, I think people just get caught. It's like, and I hate to keep saying it, but it's like, people got caught up in Josh Rosen's, draft status and, he must be this crazy talent. People think they get caught up in Jerome Baker's talent level and they think it's going to translate at some point. Oh, it's going to translate at some point, but we've been waiting 4 years now. And the same issues
it's been 4 years
occurring.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is fourth year. Yeah, this is fourth year.
And
the issues are reoccurring.
Everybody got caught up in Jerome Baker having 17 tackles last week. I kept saying,
it's ridiculous.
I kept saying, you want to see a good 17 tackle game? Go back and watch tape of Zach Thomas. That was a ridiculous 17 tackle game.
That's the most unimpactful 17 tackle game in the history of the National Football League.
I agree.
Agree.
Go ahead, man. Oh, he's going. All right, man. Well, I mean, it's. I think right now, our fan base is getting that face full of cold water that we needed. We were, and I hate to go back to it, but just because you got the ingredients for gumbo, it don't mean you got gumbo. At a certain point, players need to play together. Players need to know their role, and coaches need to put the players in the right position. And every week, I think we've seen so far, one aspect has been deficient. And if you have a leaky foundation, you can't build on a leaky foundation at the end of the day. These guys still need to come together and understand the roles, understand each other, understand where they need to be in our defense. Because at a certain point, if we can't come together, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how shiny the toys are. It doesn't matter how Emmanuel Ogbah was supposed to be the pass rush. Christian Wilkins was supposed to be the pass rush. Kyle Van Noy is supposed to be the pass rush. I ain't seen no pass rush this year. None. So at a certain point, it's not, and I know we ragging on Baker, but the whole defense has to take that L. The coaching staff has to take that L because at least our offense, and surprisingly our offensive line, have been good enough. I would say not good, but good enough. Our defense has been atrocious this year.
Now, if you were to ask anybody what you think our record would be after the first 2 games before the season started, if our O-line was playing this well, we all expected our defense
to be 2-0.
2-0.
I thought we'd be 2-0 if our O-line was playing good.
I think they need to, I need on defense, bro. I think they need to simplify things somewhat. They need to stop moving too many people around. They need to establish more defined roles for players. You know what I mean? In particular, Kyle Van Noy, Ogbah. You know what I mean? They're moving him around too much, and he's trying to replicate what. And I get it, and I understand, but we're seeing, no matter who the coordinator that Bill Belichick has, that manning that defense, you're getting the same production because of who he is. His fingerprint, no matter being on that defense. Flores is trying to replicate that, but it's just not happening. It's just you're not getting the same production. You saw it last year, even though we improved the second half. But they need to they need to simplify things up front. They're moving too many people, too many people around, in my opinion.
It's a disaster on defense. Fundamentally, they're not there. Scheme-wise, they're not there. Physicality, they're not there. And who would have thought starting this season, we would have said the offensive line would have been the stronger suit towards, and the not even the D-line, the secondary. Yo, besides Noah, who for the most part, Noah had tight coverage on a lot of plays. Josh Allen, is shocking for me to say it, he is developed.
Yep.
Igbenogany, his coverage, just because of the crossing routes alone, he was giving a big cushion, and he was getting he learned a lot. I hope he learned.
Yeah.
He's gonna learn a lot. He's gonna learn a lot in the film room because Stephon Diggs took him on a lesson.
But why are they giving that much cushion? Reason why?
You know why?
I think doing the same thing
because you saw. Well, no, you saw like. They were doing what were they doing? They were doing crossing routes, where they were crossing each other. So you saw on one where they completed the Diggs, Igbenogany, he lost tracking on Diggs because of that concept. Like they were doing a lot of a lot
of rub routes.
Yeah, man. It was what can I say, man?
Can I ask a question?
But here's the other
thing. But when Stephon was on him, just them. He was taking him to route running, mirroring school. He's like, hey, young boy, let's see if you can mirror these routes. And he just couldn't. He's not there yet, bro. Like,
I got a
he's
question
not
for
there
you,
yet.
Reason. I had a question for you, bro. So, like, instead of Noah and X giving this 10-yard fucking cushion, why don't they press them on the line of scrimmage and jam them?
That's what I was
saying. That's what we were saying earlier.
That's what I was saying, bro.
This is floating, right?
I think Igbenogany, why he was reluctant to press so much. A lot of rookies get jitters. You know what I mean? Going against a Pro Bowl wide receiver, they get scared. You know what I mean? So
because run wrong move, you're beat off the line.
Exactly, you're beat off the top, and it's a touchdown. You know what I mean? You have no help in man.
I mean, at the end of the day, Stephon Diggs, he pulled out that blackboard, he pulled out that chalk. He says, "Sit down, young man. You in class right now."
I got another.
He took him to play. You know what? He's only going to get better from it.
He was on his tail though. I mean, he was there though too.
Yeah, but he gave him the package. He gave him the full package, and he's going to learn from it.
And Josh Allen was putting that thing on the money too, man.
Yes, he was.
He looked like Tua Tagovailoa's Alabama tape. That's what he looked like.
That shit hurt me.
He was just dropping it in the bucket.
He was dropping it, bro. And what do you do to that? You can't defend that, bro. What do you do to that?
No, we can't defend that. We can't defend that.
When a quarterback is dropping dimes like that, it's only so much you can do. The scheme, in terms of how to scheme it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's only so much you can do. So
because zone and man wasn't working. It didn't matter what they threw at him.
Now they did have him. He was on that rotisserie grill for an extended period of time the entire game. They were slow roasting him.
Slow roasting. Second and 24, that broke our back, man.
They put him in that
Beasley completion.
That broke our back, homie. That killed all momentum.
In zone. They went in zone.
They were in zone.
They killed us in zone.
Needham was getting it too. Needham was getting
that work. It was work called for Needham. He was getting that work, yo. He looked like the undrafted free agent, yo.
Okay, I'll say this. Needham was getting the work early on, but the second half he was cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah, he got better. It got better.
Because his penalties came in the first half, right?
Yeah.
Well, they had no reason to go. They had no reason to go anywhere else since Stephon Diggs was cooking Igbenogany like that. There was no reason to go anywhere.
You said he was being slow roasted.
Slow roasted, bro.
Oh my gosh!
You know when you go to Sam's, you see that big giant rotisserie up there. Yeah. You see them chickens.
Well, you said Noah was in there, bro.
What's up with Bobby McCain, man? On that last touchdown that broke our back, we were clearly in zone.
You know what he is? You know what he is?
Top of the grill.
You know what he is? He is who we thought he is. That's who Bobby was.
Man, that was terrible. Let's let him go because Bobby's supposed to be back.
He's a cornerback playing safety. And I know people are saying he ain't no cornerback. He's been playing safety for a whole year. He's a cornerback playing safety. Like at the end of the day, and Eric Rowe is a cornerback who has converted to safety. Bobby McCain is a cornerback playing safety.
Eric Rowe missed the pick.
That is a difference. And
that That was just a perfect pass.
That was a hell of a
Again, like I
pass, though.
said,
God damn, Josh.
There's no defense against a perfect pass. Like
Dolphins
Josh Allen
cover
last
spread.
year, like Josh Allen last year, that would have been a pick six.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
I
it's
know
it's
exactly
it's
how
like
you feel.
it's like Mark Jackson said, good defense, better offense.
At least they covered the
Let's be
spread.
honest.
They covered the
Let's be
spread.
honest. Let's be honest. Kyle Van Noy should have had a pick six.
Yeah.
Yes, he should have.
Oh yeah.
Boy,
And then-
you want to talk about someone who I thought he would be. You just put him in, and he's ready to go, regardless of how the rest of the defense is doing. I thought he was
agree.
that guy.
I don't know
man.
what's going on with Kyle.
Yo,
bro.
I see why
he-
Bill Belichick
he-
got rid of him.
I think you know what they need to do. I think Kyle Van Noy had Jerome Baker's role in Bill Belichick's defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In terms of the command, he's the one that is responsible for the calls, getting everybody lined up, et cetera, et cetera. He doesn't have that role in this defense, and that might be affecting with his
I'm
psyche
telling
a little
y'all.
bit.
You know what scared me the most about Josh Allen? His ability now to place the ball along the sidelines. That's what was like,
Oh,
man, he's making
my
big
God.
boy throws. And I
Oh,
still
yeah.
go back. That throw where it went over Igbenogany's head and through Rowe's hands to a jumping Stephon Diggs, I was like, holy, yo, here's your problem. You got a guy with that kind of athleticism who's now got that kind of a bazooka, who's starting to figure out anticipation and ball placement. That is, and give kudos to Josh Allen because he wasn't a 1 or 2 read quarterback and then tuck it and run today. He was trying to go through as many progressions and as many reads as he could before he made a decision. So kudos to him, bro, because we said make him sit in the pocket and beat you, and he did, man. And I mean,
But it was against the Dolphins and the Jets the last 2 weeks, so that really wasn't a test. I had to say, I hate to say that about my
And
team.
you know what?
yeah, but X when healthy is a top 10 corner.
Is X healthy?
He's
I don't
not.
think he is.
He's not. He's not.
I don't think so.
He's not.
I don't
He's
think
not.
so.
I don't
Hey,
think he
I
is.
He's healthy the way Todd Gurley is healthy.
If you're healthy enough to play, then you're healthy. Because if you're not healthy enough to play, you shouldn't be on the field because you're a liability. So
But
if you're healthy enough to
Is
suit
that
up
the reason why they went in so much zone?
today,
No,
they
no.
thought they're getting
Because
killed
he's
with
hurt?
man.
No,
They-
the reason why they went to zone, is because it was killing them with them crossing
Yeah.
routes and the mesh
On
concepts.
the man and
That's
man, right?
kryptonite to man. That's
Man,
kryptonite.
yeah.
That's
Right,
kryptonite
right.
to man coverage,
Especially
especially
when
when
you
you
got
don't get your hands on
linebackers.
them at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you
And
got
we-
linebackers who are useless at helping the
Yep.
secondary and coverage as well.
And we don't disrupt the pocket. Like we like it ain't about getting to the court. It's about disrupting. Disrupting his
Pressure.
timing. That's what our defense is based on. And like we can't do that. We get no push up the middle.
Nope.
It's
Nothing.
fuck, man. We need a fucking nose tackle. Man. Like, this shit is real, man.
Told y'all.
Yeah.
I told
You're
y'all
right.
2
You're
years
right,
now,
Ian.
bro.
You're right.
You know, you had people on
I
other
know, man.
platforms laughing
They don't know that.
when I initially brought that up. But it's cool, you know. But you're seeing the issues, and if you don't have like having said a foundation there that you can lean on in terms of, you know, if they consistently do their role, you know, just holding up and commanding double teams, you know, how much that would be more impactful in terms of, you know, overall impact on our defense if we had one guy that can consistently command a double team in a run game.
Can Earl Thomas play nose tackle? Is what I would say to that comment. Can Earl Thomas play nose tackle?
And for all of that, we still could have
Well,
won
he
the
can
game.
help him. We could have used Earl today, especially on that Bobby McCain play.
Oh,
I'll say that.
we would have won the game because that
Yeah,
play
yeah.
wouldn't have happened.
Earl,
That wouldn't have
Earl
happened.
would have picked that
would've-
off.
Yeah, that
Earl would have picked that
ain't
off.
happening over Earl, buddy.
Earl
So,
would've
so
picked
is
that
there a
off.
reach out to him, huh?
They
Is
need
there a
to.
reach out to him?
I would think
You know
about
what?
it.
I mean, at this point,
he's not like Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman is just a zone corner. Earl Thomas is rangy enough. He doesn't have the combine speed, but he's still speedy enough. He has a high football IQ. He is still good enough to play.
You know what?
In
that
safety
single
in a
high
three-
roll.
in a 3-4.
That single high roll.
Sure.
And
That's why
we
Baltimore
asked,
wanted him, right? Because
Yep.
if it wasn't for his attitude, he'd still be in Baltimore.
Also, Earl Thomas will dig into guys if they're not on their job, and that's both
Right,
a good
right.
We need
and
that.
a bad
We
thing
need
as well.
that. And we
with
need
Earl
and
Thomas.
you'll never see Earl Thomas out of position. on film. You'll never see him like the issues we see with Bobby McCain being out of position. You'll never see Earl Thomas do that.
Yeah,
you'll never see that, and that's what you need.
Yeah, because Bobby McCain bit hard on that, man. Like it was. Because here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing about because guys, we're going to be announcing we got 130 in the room starting this Thursday. We're going to be going live during the games for live reactions. Here's the thing. I went back and I watched that play like 3 or 4 times. Like I end up about 10 or 15 minutes behind everyone, and then I catch up by going through the commercials as fast because there's so many plays I want to watch 3 or 4 times to see who made the mistake. So,
no, Earl Thomas would have helped us a lot.
I mean, we don't have a free safety on our roster.
No, we don't.
We don't at all.
We don't have a true free safety.
Yeah, we don't have true line, but we don't have linebackers.
Man, we ain't got a whole lot.
We ain't got shit.
To be honest with you,
we ain't got a whole lot on this team.
At this point, I would look to see what we have with Brandon Jones in that single high safety role.
I agree.
I mean, can he be much worse? Can he be much worse? To be honest with you.
No.
At least he's giving you athleticism at that position.
I only saw him over pursue once, but other than that, he's making tackles again today.
Yeah.
And we still almost won the game. That's the crazy thing.
I mean, let me ask a question though.
He's not missing tackles either.
No, he's not. He's legit.
What can Eric Rowe? Can Eric Rowe give you something at the free safety position, and then you let Brandon Jones?
I don't think he has the range.
I don't think he's athletic
No.
Yeah, he's not.
Well,
Eric Rowe doesn't have the athleticism to work.
No. Eric Rowe doesn't have the change of direction. He's got straight. Now, in terms of straight line speed, he's a 4.4 guy. But Eric Rowe, to knock on him, has always been his change of direction. I just don't think he's shifting. He's fluid enough in his hips, and his feet are disciplined enough to play that position.
Gardner Minshew's not a pushover. Minshew's not going to be a pushover Thursday, yo.
Well, You know what I was going to say? At least Fitzpatrick held off the Tua. The people clamoring for Tua for another week today. Yeah. Where are all the people that were blaming Fitzpatrick last week? Because Fitzpatrick played a hell of a game and Gaskin.
Since he plays good enough to win.
Yes, he did. Gaskin got something going,
yes, they do. My fantasy tight end.
They can build on that. And again, I'm telling you, a lot of plays that you saw Fitz make today, he made last week.
Yeah, Isaiah Ford was big time clutch, Sean. He was there whenever they needed him, right?
The hell with Preston Williams, man.
I wish he would have looked more for Ford last week.
Did Grant get any targets?
He shouldn't have.
No.
Well, wasn't his second interception last week where he didn't see Adrian Phillips drop back into coverage? Wasn't that to Ford?
Yeah,
I think so.
It was. But there was a play. I think the last interception that was pass interference. I don't blame Fitz, but Ford was coming across open, I think, and would have scored.
I mean,
Bowen get some shine. They need to set up.
At the end of the day, until we get a defensive tackle that can occupy multiple offensive linemen, until we get a middle linebacker that understands their assignment.
Multiple linemen, just take up space for Christ's sake.
Anything. I'll take anything at this point. I'll take anything at this point. I'm looking at a whole rack of rotisserie chicken right now.
Oh man, they got a whole
rack of rotisserie chicken right now.
You out there today.
Yo, you know what, Havoc? You were wrong. Havoc, you were wrong. It ain't Wild Wings. It ain't none of that. I think we're dealing with Kenny Rogers roasters over here, bro.
Oh my God!
How
many herbs and spices before we get a pass rush?
Do you want traditional? Do you want lemon pepper? Do you want garlic butter? Do you want barbecue?
The Dolphins are serving rotisserie. They're offering up original recipe, extra crispy, lemon pepper, mango habanero. They're giving you all the looks,
bro. And Josh Allen is sitting on his bed like Kramer, eating it up by walking back and forth right now, bro.
Oh my gosh,
with the wet wipes, man.
With the wet wipes too.
I would have never thought, man. He would have carved us up
with
like
the
that,
wet wipes.
Carving us up.
Allen, man.
Yeah.
You got that. No, now we're getting into that Cameron vibe. Yo, the Dolphins defense need to go get their wet wipes.
Yeah, man.
We're taking it back, bro.
Oh man, yeah. We could use a horse and carriage in our interior of our D line right now. We ain't got nothing.
Hey, Reason, what's that nose tap
because we need to rise to the top.
I like that one.
We should have.
That's a free agent that was number 1 against the run last year.
Man, Devon Godchild's the purple haze right now.
It was Michael Pierce.
No,
they wasn't going to pay.
No, there's one that's a free agent right now. I think Pierce has been signed.
Oh well, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, Pierce is on the Ravens, right?
Hold on a sec. Who are you getting at? Todd? Just say the name, Todd. Stop playing the game.
I can't think of his name.
You talking about Snacks Harrison?
Fuck it, man.
Oh, from Detroit. The one that Detroit.
From Detroit. Yeah.
Well, we're surprised because he played with the Patriots before 2EM?
Yeah, the Patriots or the Broncos.
No, he was just
the Giants. It was the Giants.
It was the Giants. Yeah, we're surprised because maybe the thing is, maybe Dan Patricia saw that he wasn't a fit, and if he's not a fit in Detroit, he's not a fit here. I don't know, man, but
Gostow isn't a fit.
No.
I know.
Well, yeah.
Max is in his 30s too, right? He's in his 30s now. Right?
Yeah, he's up there.
I don't necessarily think I think he's a scheme fit. I mean, he's played in multiple schemes throughout his career, but I don't know what's going on with Snap. He is 32 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We just need him to be big.
I'm telling you, bro, they should have just brought John Jenkins back. People hated on John Jenkins so much last year. He graded out the highest. He graded out extremely well against the run. He was our best run defender on the interior line last year. They should have just gave him a 1-year veteran-laden deal, brought him back, and the majority of these issues we would not be talking about here today. That's what they should have done. If they didn't want to splurge on that position, that's what they should have done.
That's San Fran and Seattle.
Hey,
those
maybe
game's gonna be ugly.
I mean, maybe we need to take a look at what Benito Jones can offer. He is the only person that can offer us. I mean, we don't know what he can offer us because going by these training camp reports that we all that had our fan base thinking we were going 16-0 and going to the Super Bowl. You know, he appears to be the only person size-wise, even though Raekwon Davis might be bigger than Benito Jones.
Now,
he's the only dude size-wise that should fill that role.
I think the problem with Benito is he's a rare nose tackle he's more effective in the pass game than he is in the run game. That's probably that's your issue with him. If you watch the film, he was more so penetrating and pushing back pockets in the pass game than he was really being disruptive in the run game. At least
he can cover some. We could take that too right now, Reason. We ain't getting no.
We could have used it today.
We could have used it today.
I'll take it all, man. I got.
So I don't know through that preseason how much he's developed in his run game, in his run sets, but they were nowhere near as strong.
But Miles Gaskin's our number 1 back.
Yes, I said this last week.
Yeah.
Hey, Havoc, I told you that.
Yeah, what you got to say, Sean?
Remember how we had that conversation about Miles Gaskin, and I told you, I said y'all might think I'm crazy, but
you're crazy, Sean.
I didn't call you crazy, did I?
No. I was saying y'all think, you might think I was crazy about that, but I was telling you I feel like he was going to be the guy.
I mean, you were on it early. You were on it early.
Bro, before training camp started, I was out here saying that I thought Kalen Ballage was going to lose his job because of Miles Gaskin, because I was telling EM and I was telling all our subscribers, if you've seen what he was at college, if he gets any of that translating to the NFL, he was going to be scary. And you see this guy, and I'm seeing what I saw in college right now, bro. Like, I'm seeing the confidence. I'm seeing he's not afraid to hit the interior, hit holes, like Ballgame said, because he's a smaller guy, more compact back. He can himself
hit any hole. He's so small.
He can make himself skinny, get through holes, right? I see a guy who, bro, this guy looks like he's loving the contact. He's dragging people with him right now, bro.
Very impressed by Miles.
He's 195.
Give him the rock 20 games a game. Why? I want to see him get the rock 20 times a game.
I'd like to see that.
I agree.
I think Breida should be his backup.
I agree. I agree.
That might be that's the formula right there.
Man.
Yeah.
I think
that rock.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think, he's 195, but he don't play like he don't play.
Nah.
He plays like his running style and how he runs behind his pads. He runs like he's 220 pounds.
He plays a lot bigger than Balaj did. I'll say it like that.
Definitely, no doubt.
Bro, he's
Always
running bigger than Jordan Howard, who's like
Hey, Jordan Howard's out here with the ski mask right now, taking paychecks,
stealing money.
Yeah. And Howard needs to hand over that dark face visor to Miles Gaskin and say, "Let it roll, boy." Because Gaskin is tearing it up. Because this guy's out here rocking the 34 and the dark visor like his name's Ricky Williams, and he's out here giving me 28 yards per carry. Come on, son.
Hey, Reason. I got something to tell you. I know you always be watching college ball.
Yes, sir.
We have a
Spencer Rattler, bro. Oh my God. Spencer Rattler.
I saw that one.
Did you see Spencer Rattler's debut?
Oh boy.
Yes, but I want you to check out my other little cousin. He's a Tunsil, but his last name is Henry Parrish. Henry Parrish Jr. plays for Ole Miss, number 25. He's a Tunsil, but married he's married. His father is married to my cousin, so that's where But he plays for Ole Miss. He switched from Pitt and went to Ole Miss, and it's like number 25, Henry Parrish Jr.
Was he committed? He was committed to Pittsburgh.
Right.
What happened? Do you know what happened, or he just decided?
Well, because Laramie and Laramie's brother went to Ole Miss, so he just decided to do the family thing, and he went. So he done went there now.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yo, tell Laramie that Reason thinks that kid's a fucking stud, and if he keeps the laundry off the field, he's going to be the best tackle in football.
Man,
that man is a stud, and I wish we had the option right now between putting him or Austin Jackson at the right and the other at the left, because we would be absolutely a nightmare for everyone in the NFL right now.
Hey, listen.
But I'll take the draft picks. Tell him I love him, but I'll take the draft picks.
Yeah, hey, listen.
He knows.
Hey, Havoc, I talked to Havoc about it, and I'm a Dolphin fan, and I love the Dolphins. I hate to see him go. I was happy when he came.
Yeah,
I hate to see him go, but
you did too. You didn't want to go either.
Hey, that's a deal you can't turn down, man.
No, you couldn't turn down that.
That's what they call a Godfather deal.
Exactly.
Yo, and I want you to give us the info. Who leaked the tape, bro?
Did you do it?
No. Listen. How I want to say what it is
carefully.
His mother had a husband, and the husband was kind of on the abusive side, and kind of like Laramie got an altercation with him, and put the beat down, and then I guess in retaliation he did that.
Wow,
that's a sucker move right there.
That's right there, man. That's some
sucker behavior right there.
That's female tendencies, bro. Like,
man.
Wow.
Try to mess up that man.
Man, you out here putting hands on a woman, and then her son puts hands on you, and you want to wreck him up?
Listen. I put it this way.
Good on Larry for stuffing him out, bro.
Yeah.
Put it this way, for me, the whole family should have jumped on. The whole family should have jumped on. Yeah,
that's how the rules of the game usually go.
You know what though? They didn't stop none at the end of the day. He the highest paid left tackle.
Yeah, there it goes.
Exactly. Yep. It all worked out, bro.
And you know who worked the deal out?
Laramie, right?
Laramie. One of him. It was Tom.
His mother.
Good. Desiree worked the deal out.
Good for her.
That's what's up.
Because man, he set the bar by doing it with no agent, man. Like, good on him, man. Get paid, young man.
And you know what? These NFL organizations out here talking like, oh, you need to give some dude 2, 3, 4, 5% in order to get a real deal done.
Yeah,
you don't. No, you don't.
No. Go give that 2, 3, 5% to mama. That's
give that to your cousin, give that to your brother, give it to your mama. Keep that in the family.
But if mama and brother aren't as smart as Laramie's mother, it might be a problem.
Well, when you have teachers and when you have like your teachers in your family, like for instance, Laramie's grandfather was a teacher, was a school instructor, and then that passes on down.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah,
you could tell Laramie's well spoken and he gives off a good vibe.
He's such a beast, bro. Like, I'm happy with Austin Jackson right now. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with him. But man, if we could have had, it's the same thing we were saying where if we would have had Ricky with Marino, if we could have had Austin Jackson and Laramie Tunsil on the same offensive line.
Oh boy!
Like, oh my God! What's like, bro? We wouldn't have had no problem running the ball in week 1. It would have been like that's like having Moses
just Marino audibling out of the pass. That's the only problem we would have had.
Yeah. When's the last time Marino audible to a run?
No, but here's what I'm saying, guys. I think Gaskin can hit. I think he's a legit 100-yard back, guys. Like, I think give him the rock 20, 22 times, and I think you're gonna get 100, 105 yards, man.
Yeah.
If you look at Kellen Ballage's college tape versus Myles Gaskin,
not even close. It's not even close, bro.
At all.
Yo, can I say this to you, Tunsil? Because I know now you've watched it. Yo, in the last 5-6 years, people don't realize Myles Gaskin has some of the best running back tape I've ever watched, bro.
Exactly.
Like we're talking like a 1,400 yard back.
What makes him so good? What makes him so good?
Just what you're seeing right now, man. He's got great vision. Like I said, like, he's got that compact size so he can fit holes. He can get skinny holes.
And he's tough.
Hey, he's good. He's a good receiver out of the backfield.
If he wants.
Some backs just got that.
I'm telling you, the only reason why he fell. The only reason why he fell.
He's got quick, and another thing he's got is he can stop, and then he's got short area quickness where he can get right back into it. Like his cuts. He doesn't lose much on his cuts, man.
He's a football player.
The only reason why he's, in my opinion, the only reason why he failed to the 7th round, you would think a player with that body of work in college and that coming from that conference, and his tape, the only reason why he failed was because he tested so poorly in his 40 time at the combine.
But
he was like in a 4.6 in addition to his lack of size. Because they were looking at him, and saying like, "Wow, a guy that small, you should be a lot faster than what you're testing." And so that scared a lot of,
Plus, I know y'all are going to kill me for what I'm. I know you're going to kill me for what I'm going to say, but his running style and his testing reminds me a lot of what Emmitt Smith had.
That's what EM's upset on here.
And his running style is a lot similar to Emmitt. Now I think he's a little shiftier than Emmitt in the open field, but they are very similar in their running styles.
Plus,
Todd, I'm not mad at you because me and EM have said that on stream, bro.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, we've said that on stream, and we said it
online. He would have had the same damn numbers.
Yeah. No,
that's a good assessment.
I agree.
He has everything you want as a running back. He just doesn't have ideal size, and he just doesn't have ideal straight line 40 speed. But everything else, it's hard to find. It's hard to find a perfect running back. Well, do they exist?
Emmitt didn't have the 40 speed. That's the thing.
No, Emmitt had everything else. Literally had everything else.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're building a running back, it's Ricky Williams. That's your perfect running back. If you're building one.
Yeah, I would agree.
Hey, he's doing just like Frank Gore.
Yo, guys, can I just give you a quick update? Right now,
Jim
I think
Brown is the perfect running back.
The Chiefs just got the ball back with 2:20 left in the 4th. They're down by 3. Justin Herbert is currently 20 of 31 for 304 yards, a touchdown and an interception. And then he has 4 scrambles for 18 yards, and his longest is 11. So
I think so.
And he has a rushing touchdown.
I think Reason gonna have a little crow on that.
You and me, EM.
Crow on that dinner.
You and me, EM. We agreed from the beginning.
They're gonna have Reason are gonna have plenty of crow to eat tonight next to his dinner.
Oh, is it going to start being pressure about starting Tua now because all these?
What do you mean start?
Make sure.
Damien. Yeah. It's
Bro,
going to get hot.
they got the pitchforks out already.
This is real.
And that 11-yard run was for a touchdown.
And Tua right now, the competitor in him wants to get out there and play. Watching these other guys.
Here's the thing. I did watch his second drive. I haven't watched the rest of his game, but there was a lot of intermediate throws that he missed because he didn't have the touch, and he was ripping it more than placing it.
And he made a bad read too.
I don't know if
really bad read.
What on the interception?
But he's a rookie.
The interception.
It was a bad read, a really bad read.
I'm not going to eat. I got to watch the game to see if I'm going to eat crow because I'm not watching it right now. I was actually in the background watching.
It's just one game, bro.
I was watching Kyler Murray.
I know.
I'm watching Kyler Murray give
They're still playing the game.
Just busting your meatballs.
Bro, yeah. I'm just kidding.
I was watching Kyler Murray give Washington that work, bro, right now.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
He's incredible.
But all I'm saying, only thing I've ever said about Herbert, as well. I'm still happy that we have Tua Tagovailoa, but I just felt like
I'm happy.
I just felt like Herbert, a lot of people were killing him, and I thought it was just a lot of it was just unfair in a a lot of ways. I get
no, it wasn't. It was his mechanics
for a reason. Well, listen. At the end of the day, my point with him was this is my point in terms of people saying that he was a second or third round pick. His talent level alone warrants first round consideration.
Reasons.
And all I'm saying is this.
I said he was in the end of the first, top of the second round pick.
All I'm saying is this: he's athletically gifted enough to where you can build enough of a foundation and rebuild his game, just like all quarterback, just like all the approach every coach takes when they select a quarterback, especially
there's a play you can watch in the first, and you can tell his mechanics and his footwork. They're working on it because he scrambled out to his left, and then he jumps to reset his feet, and he can't properly reset his feet, and then he bombs it, and he misses by a fucking quarter mile.
Right.
So you can tell they're still
they're
still working on it right now. It's a work in progress.
Oh yeah, he's still a work in progress.
No,
but I'm
right
just saying,
now, if you look at that stat line, it's Josh Allen in year one. That stat line, other than the 300 yards, obviously, it's Josh Allen in year one right now with his stat line. So
I'm just gonna be patient, wait for Tua.
What's up, Damien?
What's up, man? What's up, Ryan?
I didn't hear your take, bro.
Oh man, well, secondary's trash.
Yep.
Front seven soft.
Yep.
Sad to say this as much as it hurts me. Flow, scheme, and I'm questioning it. And that's sad to say. Fitzy balled out. O-line played solid. Receivers played decent. Besides Jakeem Grant, our special teams is outstanding. Besides when Jakeem Grant is playing. Is outstanding. Punting game, everything's outstanding. Kicking game, outstanding. Wish we had a defense to go with that solid special teams because we could actually manufacture some wins.
Damn, dude, get out of my head,
16
dude.
to 17 points.
Get out of my head,
Miles Gaskins looks like a number one back.
Yes,
and
sir.
Fitzy played good enough to win. And taking all that into consideration how terrible the defense was, we still should have won that game. And we're outgained by like a gazillion yards. So that's giving me faith. But we better put pressure on Gardner Minshew. Some type of way. And Preston Williams, stop jumping to catch a ball you don't have to jump for. Like all you need to do is just
That's a young boy. That's a young boy mistake, though.
But also, let's keep it a buck, man. Let's keep it a buck, man.
What's up, y'all?
We done got out coached these past 2 weeks too.
Yeah, we've got out coached.
Let's not forget that.
We lost the game today because we got out coached.
We got out coached the past 2 weeks.
God, damn, Flo.
Now, I know y'all mad at Bobby McCain. Right?
Oh yeah, that was.
I saw a flaw in technique, which is something that coaches should identify. If you're gonna put a guy back there, the first thing you need to make sure your free safety knows that he ain't got no responsibility in the backfield. He ain't the strong safety. Strong safety, your box safety. Your free safety shouldn't have his eyes in the backfield at all. Bobby got stuck watching action unfolding up right there in front of him instead of getting back up. Huh?
And he bit, and he moved up out of his
spot.
Yeah.
Hey, ball game.
Yeah, man.
Is that Muhammad Ali? Keep calm. The champ is here.
Yeah, man.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Now, that reason you still got that projection, the thing that we did for those predictions on how many games we were going to win.
I'm gonna bring it up. Hold on, give me a sec. I know you're gonna. You called.
I called it, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that got to get worked out. And
It's still early, but you're right. You're right.
Bro, the only reason I gave us that first win because I didn't think it would be RPO City in New England, bro. And I didn't think our middle linebackers Landon Robertson and Jerome Baker were a liability at times.
But you gotta play. Hey, but you have to factor in though that Bill's gonna play the Cam's strength, man. You gotta get a guy something to do.
We all expected him to try because what I kept saying to people was on stream was
go get it.
If you look at what his best success was in 2018, who was the offensive coordinator? It was Norv Turner, right?
Yeah.
And Norv Turner ran a very similar short, intermediate, rhythmic passing offense to what McDaniels ran with Tebow, Brissett, Jimmy G when he came in. So I was like, okay, that's going to be the move. They're the only ones in football land that didn't think it was going to be the move, bro. Like, I'm really interested tonight, ball game. That garbage ain't working against Seattle, bro. You better have a better game plan.
Yeah, man.
So I'm interested to see what they do tonight because, I can't. Yo, bro, listen here, ball game. You've been in this game a long time. How many times do you give all-purpose yards, 75 on the ground, and 155, so 230 to a quarterback, and you pretty much get dominated in the game and time of possession when you're only giving 230 all-purpose yards to a scrambling quarterback who's the lead in the RPO, really, is how they're using him. Usually, you're a lot closer than losing by 10 points.
Right. You're right.
Like, it was a bad performance, man. You got guys slipping on their routes. You got we're not getting the laundry when they already had 3 DPIs in the second half because of how tight that man coverage was. And, it's just this ball game. I got to hear what.
Dude, the Chiefs are going to lose.
Give me your thought, ball game. Okay, now. Week 1, you've been gashed for 217, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Week 2, you started getting gashed in man. You switched to more zone-heavy concepts. You still were getting gashed. You ended up putting Josh Allen ended up doing. Our keys to victory, I don't know if you saw it, was contain his athleticism and then basically make him beat you from the pocket. He puts up his first 400-yard game, adds 4 touchdowns through the air. What are you doing now that you've seen – how bad the interior of the front is and how bad the interior of the linebackers are right now in terms of not only in the run, but also the interior linebackers in coverage.
Yeah, you go back, and first of all, you got to go highlight. For all the bad, there is some good.
Go get it.
Right? So you didn't give up the 200 yards on the ground this time. So you tweak. And you don't need massive overhauls because at the end of the day, these guys are still truly getting comfortable with the guy that's calling the defenses, and they only going out doing what he's telling them to do. He's making the calls. They're the ones got to go out and execute it, of course. But in the same sense, he's still learning too, and that's the problem right now, right? You got guys that are veteran guys that probably could go out and call their own plays and to stop some of the stuff they saw. But they taking an order from a guy that's never done this before. Boy, ain't never been in a position like this before. So I don't think it has anything to do with Flores right now. But Flores understands also that this guy got to learn. He got to learn to trust in Boyer calling these plays too. Plus, I'm not tripping because we rebuilding. I keep saying that over and over again, right? So we gave. Hold on, let me finish. We gave up almost 100 points. We gave up over 100 points last year in the first 2 games of the season.
Right.
This time around, we ain't even. We're not even. Half of that.
21 and 31, 50 something.
Yeah, so it's half. It's half now.
Okay, so let me ask you and EM this question because you guys are my defensive gurus. When I have a question, I go to. Okay, last week we only ran motion pre-snap on 1.8% of our plays. Today, we barely ran motion, but the times we did, we were getting gains when we were doing drag routes. We had Isaiah Ford come out of the backfield on motion for a drag route that ended up getting a decent chunk of yardage.
Right.
As a defender, when you're not seeing a lot of motion pre-snap,
The game is so much easier.
Exactly. Okay.
Easier.
So much
easier. I want
but
you to
that's
explain
not
it to people because I'm getting annoyed by Chan Gailey. To me, like that's one thing. Like let's start confusing people. Let's start moving guys around in their coverage. Let's not giving them basically the same thing if we can.
Same look. Yeah.
Pre-snap that it is post-snap if we have the ability to change it up, man.
Listen. Here's
We're
the
not
problem.
making defenders think enough for me right now.
If you break the huddle, right, and I'm on defense. If you on offense and you break the huddle,
yes, sir,
and come to the line of scrimmage, and I can identify you in the same place when I look to see what the keys are from inside and cross the field, looking back to my free safety and my safety to make sure they got me in my coverage zone. If I can still find you, then you just made my job just that much easier because then at that point I can isolate pretty much in my mind as a corner or as a defender on opposite sides of the ball out there on those edges what I'm going to take it away from you so you can't hurt me.
Okay, so ball game. So let me say this in the sense. So is this when I start so why aren't we using more false keys then?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if Shane. I don't know if. I think it's a progression.
But I was gonna say
like if you're not going to be motioning, pre-snap, you better start using more false keys. So guys are getting different looks where they think the guard's going to be pulling on this play because they've seen it twice before. Now the fullback comes up and he's the one filling the gap. Start sending false keys we're not making defenders think enough on offense.
But is that Chan Gailey? It's all about Chan Gailey's tendencies and how he coaches.
Yeah,
has he ever shown that?
That's
never been any stretch of his career.
Yeah, but here's the thing,
that's never been.
But here's the thing, guys. If y'all, because I sit on the Zooms too. If y'all remember the Zooms, what did he say when they asked him in preseason? How have you adapted so you're not the same guy you were when you were tired? And he said, "I've been watching, and I like to think I've been changing up my playbook and keeping up with the times." And
what else is he supposed to say?
That could be formation based, but at the same time, adding motion to an offense. That's an intricate part of things that a lot of guys don't understand that because landmarks completely change. A lot of stuff changes when you get if you take a guy clear from the left side and bring him all the way to the right, reset him, and then bring another guy opposite and bring him back to the other side. The whole defense has changed at that point.
Yep.
But the coordinator has to be comfortable in that also, and I just don't know.
Exactly.
I've never seen Chan be that intricate.
Never have.
Motion. I've never seen it.
Never have.
So that was my concern.
This is what I was hoping for when they asked him in the Zooms.
No.
This is what I was hoping for when he said he would change.
He told you what he wanted you to hear.
But reason. What else is he supposed to? But what else is he supposed to say?
Yeah, exactly.
What is he supposed to say?
That's the coaches do.
So at the end of the day,
you saw how stale we were, and that's why you're seeing a lack of separation, bro. It's because guys aren't thinking. They don't have to think post snap. They can basically
locking on,
settle in, focus in, and they know what they're doing pre snap. Ball snaps, and they're like, "Yep, I knew what I was doing."
Here's the kicker. So right now, what we have two large receivers who can be found pre-snap by any defender. They know where they're going to be because he's not moving them around. The problem becomes, first and foremost, you have to show people that you possess the ability to actually take advantage of what you can't coach, and that's speed. So having Grant be whatever role he got him in right now is not enough because if you move Grant around and get him moving, and you know what I'm saying, even if it's just on double reverse stuff or even moving.
But you know what it is, ball game? I talked about this earlier this week, bro. You know what it is?
You got to do all of that stuff, man.
No, you know what it is, bro? It's not about that. It's on Fitzpatrick in that sense because if you look at historically at Fitzpatrick, bro, he targets big body receivers. He doesn't like smaller, speedy guys. He's never
I get
targeted them. And so you got to coach that into Fitzpatrick because especially last week, Grant was getting separation, but either due to pressure and even when he had time, he wasn't really looking Grant's way. You can tell Isaiah Ford has settled in as the consistent third read.
Yeah. Right. But here's the thing. Here's my thing. So even if it is on Fitz, right, which I do agree, you still got to force him to adjust too. And the way you do that is by moving those big targets. If he don't – listen,
Get him in front of him. Get him in front of him. So
exactly. Those guys need to embrace the concept of coming across the formation as a split end. Split end doesn't have to stay stagnant. He doesn't have to stay stationary to one side of the field. You can move that position. Bring him across the formation in twins. Give him a slant back across the formation, and bring the tight end underneath on a drag. That's creating confusion anyway, because then that wide receiver. Plus, it helps him because then he can identify if it's man or if it's zone.
That's what we were talking about last week. We were talking about how even when they were doing stack to the right, they weren't stacking the routes, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you stack the routes over the middle, you're going to start creating that traffic and that confusion. Kind of like what you're saying. We were highlighting what you're saying. We're like, yo, drag underneath, slant over top, come over. If you're in trips, come over with the third guy and have him run a skinny post over top.
Right.
Now all of a
you
sudden,
need 3 levels. You always need to be attacking 3 levels of the field.
Especially against this defense where their linebacking core, AJ Klein, looked lost at times today, bro.
He did. Yeah, I haven't seen in our passing game, I haven't seen 3 levels, right? Where he's got the underneath, the intermediate, and the deep shot. And if you don't show teams that you're willing to take the deep shot deep past 25 yards, 30, 35 yards up the field, they play the underneath stuff, and then they can suffocate you and smother you. If you are going to rely on the underneath game, you gotta incorporate motion. You have to.
I'll be right back, boys. You go take it away.
Yeah, you have to incorporate the motion, because otherwise, if they can find you, as soon as that ball is snapped, if the defender doesn't have to do anything but just reach out, put his hands on you, and touch you because you ain't moved in front of him, he winning. He don't have to think. He don't have to think past the first level. Everything for him at that point is instinct. I just gotta do my job because this dude right here in front of me. Put my hands on him. Like last week, we didn't do anything to keep Gilmore from mugging and crap out of Preston Williams. And then that motion helps the fact that the dude's still not 100%. So even if you bring him across the formation, now Gilmore got to move with him, and then he's got to back off for just a little bit because he doesn't know then at this point that Preston's going to come back underneath, or Preston's going to take a quick, a slant out.
Ball game.
On the format. You know what I mean? But you're not making these guys making the defense guess at all. They can find you. They can dominate you.
Yeah. Even though, that is true, I think that would have helped to some degree. I don't think it would have made that much of an impact on the outcome of the football game because of how good New England's secondary is.
But you're showing.
I will say this. Right. You're showing something different, and that's ultimately what you want to do offensively and defensively.
Right.
If you're consistently showing the opposition the same old thing, they're going to adjust to that.
Just do that.
You know what I mean? There's a play. There are plays to be called, and there are plays to counter those plays.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Perfectly. So that's why when you're talking about the different coaches, it's all about their tendencies. That's why when they're watching film, they're trying to catch and they're trying to figure out coaches' tendencies. How many times they're leaning on a philosophy, and they're trying to point that out on film. So that's why you have that. That motion, can it help? Yeah, I guess it could to some degree. But how much is that really going to impact? You still got to make plays when the plays are presenting themselves.
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, the first game we didn't make enough. Obviously, the plays were there today to make. We just didn't make enough plays to impact the overall outcome of the football game. But I don't think Chan Gailey has been. Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt you, man. What would you do?
Go ahead, Rhino. Go ahead.
I am. Thanks, man. What would you do as far as alignment to correct our problems with D-line? How would you address that?
Me personally, I'm going gap sound, man. I'm going gap sound because I don't necessarily believe
Can you explain that?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get in the gaps. I'm gonna basically occupy both A gaps and the B gaps, and then I'm gonna walk somebody down to, or assign an outside linebackers to be the contained guys, and then that way I got A gaps covered, B gaps covered, and if I need help in reinforcing the outsides, then the safeties can come down in the box and help me with that, depending on what the strong side of the formation is. But right now, go ahead.
But you know what, ball game? That's the fundamental principle of a base 34 defense, anyway.
Yeah, but
that's why it was so concerning. That's why I was so concerned
about that
after the first game.
So then do you put Alpha and Lawson as the outside linebackers to do the containing?
Well, I told you I told you ideally what the approach that I would take. I think this should have been the approach from day one. Agba and Shaq Lawson should have been your stand-up outside
linebackers.
You know what I mean? Your 6, 7, 8 technique, in my opinion. And I would have opted to either start Raekwon Davis as another 3 tech or put Zach Zeeler in there as a starter at the 3 tech. I would have let Godchild man the middle, but I would have rotated those guys. I wouldn't just play him primarily like they've been doing the last 2 games. I would have rotated. I would have rotated all 3 of them, but
I'd be in either a bear or a solid front.
Hey, EM, I got a question to ask you. We heard Benito Jones a lot, quite a bit, pushing the pocket in preseason in our practices. Doesn't that, when the offensive line is playing, doesn't that make him look even better?
I mean, yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, what those reports that came out, all those positive reports, obviously the coaches don't feel comfortable enough with him. If they did, he would be on the 53-man roster. So that's irrelevant to me at this point. It's either they feel comfortable enough with you to be on the active roster. We feel like you can help us in some capacity, or you don't. And it's just unfortunate at this point in time. I think he can, because I think he has the skill set to do it. But obviously, he's just not up to speed, probably mentally, and they just don't feel he's just not up to speed at this point.
I think you figure out that D-line, I think a lot of things get a lot better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, this is second game. This is 2 of the better teams in the National Football League.
Go get Marvin Wilson next draft.
Yeah. But we lost. We're 0-2, but these are 2 of the better teams in the National Football League. 2 winnable games. Even though the glaring holes that we have on our team, and we got exposed the first game, we got exposed the second game, but we could be sitting here 2-0. So that's encouraging to take.
I think this game also showed how much Byron Jones was missed.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, I don't think X. I think if you factor in that, I don't believe X 100%.
No.
Yep. 100%.
So you factor in that, and then you got a rookie out there that's learning on the fly, right? Like, because legitimately, him being on Diggs was probably the biggest mismatch of the day.
I wasn't upset about that.
Now let me ask you.
What's up?
Let me ask you this ball game. Why do you think Flores opted to go with Igbenogany as opposed to Needham in that scenario?
I don't know, man.
That's a big question.
That's a good question. Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, why is he, and again, he had him on that slow roaster, bro. It was slow roasting him all day. Right. I mean, you got to change up at some point. Why didn't I was like, I don't know why he didn't opt to go.
Yeah, but even with all of that, we
shiny new toy, maybe. I don't know, the shiny new toy thing, and hey, just let him figure it out. Trial on the fire, maybe.
Yep.
I don't know.
Let him learn.
I mean, I would have played him. Noah would have played a lot of snaps for me, but he wouldn't have been on Diggs, that's for sure. And I would have took my chances with, my next best guy after Byron Jones being X. I'd have took my chances there, and then let Noah get reps over there on the other side against whoever else was out there. But the thing is that you got to get Needham involved, because I don't believe sitting him after the end of the year that he had last year is fair to him either. So either if I would have rather than just played both of those guys and then let some of the other younger guys play in the slot than to have X out there if he ain't 100%. Because if he ain't 100%, then why he out there?
I don't think he's gonna get to 100%.
Well,
I don't know if 100% is in the cards for him.
Well, you know what I'm saying. 100%.
I know what you mean.
The best that he can produce, and he
right now, yeah,
that was not it. You know what I mean?
No, it was not.
Ball game. Is he treating this like what I've heard people saying? He's trying to treat these couple games like a preseason game to find out where
it looks like it.
You have to. You legitimately have to look at these first 4 games as our preseason. And if you look at them in any other form and fashion, then you're setting yourself up to be upset a lot more, because without having sample size, all we've seen them do is work out, hear about them doing is working out against our guys. So now we're legitimately getting full-fledged work on tape to be able to tweak what we may need here and there against other teams. And that Buffalo team, to me, played down to the competition today. In truth, and a little bit of my opinion, Josh still lit us up for 400 yards, but hell, that's to be expected when you got, you know what I'm saying, you got your number one corner not in, you got your number two corner banged up, and then you got a rookie on the opposite side, and then you really don't have.
Yeah, their best player today, you could make the argument, was Mario Addison.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And here's another thing.
Edwards was hurt and Milano were hurt. Their two best linebackers were gone.
Yeah, and here's the thing, ball game. Me and EM talked about this earlier. They didn't even have to try and run the ball. Imagine if they had to try and run the ball, because Devin Singletary was running the ball at will when he wanted to. Like we talked about earlier, we don't know which was bigger, the Noah Igbenogany stiff arm from Devin Singletary or
the Kyle Vanoy one.
Yeah,
Allen. Josh Allen, Kyle Vanoy.
Yeah, the Kyle Vanoy. Well,
now that guy, probably the most disheartening thing right now for me is the two performances he's had.
Yep. I thought he would be plug and play.
Ball game, let me.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is what I think. This is what I said earlier. What's going on? Because Kyle Van Noy looked fine physically. He just looked like he's not mentally.
Yeah.
He don't have the same. Even though it's the same scheme, his role is not the same that he had in New England. Jerome Baker has his role now. So do you think that could be? Yeah, I agree 100%. Do you think that could be messing with his mind?
Yeah.
It's.
Look,
I agree 100%.
If you made your living doing one thing, and now they got you and asking you to do a completely different role, and you got to learn to trust the guys around you, that slows you down, man. And the processes is different too, because he had Hightower with him, and you know what I mean, and he had Winovich on the opposite side and things of that nature too. So those guys, that linebacker core for the New England Patriots, although people never really gave him a whole lot of credit, them guys had it down, and they knew their roles. So now that he's learning a new one, he's gonna be a step slower. Any player not accustomed, I don't care how familiarity with the scheme is one thing, but a new position.
Plus, he's covering up for Baker.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, this is my problem with Baker. Singletary stiff arm with Baker. There was a play also on that play where Isaiah McKenzie took that big block on Noah. If you watch at the beginning, it was just a little weak shove by Dawkins, and it totally threw Baker out of the play and to the side. Then you got that coverage play earlier in the game that we highlighted where he moved over like he was moving off his spot from the left over into coverage, not realizing that the trip set on the right and the linebacker coming out were already being picked up in coverage. He realized his brain fart and that the middle of the field was empty. You literally see him realize it, turn around to cut back, and Josh Allen's, that was that 16-yard Josh Allen gain. That was all on Baker. Baker should have been sitting there, staying home, waiting for him to come at him. Instead, it looks like he didn't understand. It looks like, and this is, again, the All-22 will be out in a couple of days, and this is a play I've highlighted I'll go over. It looked like he didn't understand the coverage assignment.
Right.
Which
could definitely be the issue, considering the fact that you got a new guy calling it. And I think last year, as the stretch went on, it was Flores calling stuff, but now Boyer's calling different things. And those their landmarks are changing pretty much on the fly. It looks to me like their landmarks are changing in practice. I mean, in the games on the fly, and what they're practicing is not what he's calling it. What they practice throughout the week don't look like what they playing. I mean, what they call in the game, which could throw you off. And I don't make no excuses for him, because at the end of the day, if you're the Mike, you still need to have your ass in the middle, lined up somewhere between those A and B gaps, 5 to 7 yards off, and sitting waiting for something to come, and then you can drop casually, get you a buck drop, get you a good buck drop, and sit and monitor. You know what I mean? That don't take much. So I'm not gonna cut him. I'm not gonna cut him no slack on that. But at the same time, it's growing pains with a new DC.
Here's my issue, and I don't know if EM agrees with me. When you look at a lot of the great middle linebackers, not only did they obviously agility, tackling ability, all that good stuff, and I think this is part of the reading and recognition. They had really high football IQs.
Yeah.
I don't get that I haven't seen that from Baker yet.
Yeah,
but see, listen. The quarterback position. Why do you think they?
I agree. That's why I call middle linebackers your field general and your quarterback of your defense.
Exactly. He just has. I don't think because he's not a natural middle linebacker. He's not.
Right.
The only way you develop that's an instinctual position, and the only way you develop that is through repetition. It's through repetition.
For years though, not just like, oh hey, go play
exactly.
linebacker.
Exactly. And for years, it takes time to develop that, and that's just not his strong suit. First of all,
he makes the tackle, dude.
Oh,
come on.
And he's not in physics. He doesn't have the profile.
He don't have the profile to be a Mike.
No,
he don't. And that's just been my argument here when people, consistently come at me about that. It's just
and then he can't cover. So what the hell can he do? That's my question all the time. He doesn't have the instincts.
You know what? Again, I'll say this again. I love Brian Flores, the man, but I'm telling you, Brian Flores, the coach, these questionable decisions are starting to stack up. This undying loyalty to this flawed player. He should have took the same approach he took with Josh Rosen. Mm-hmm. He watching film to all 22 just like I do, okay, and like everybody else. This kid is flawed. I mean, he is so many holes in his game, but yet you're still loyal to him based off his potential. No, I'm telling you, that's one of many. But they're starting to stack up. Hey. And again, Raekwon McMillan, you had a player that could have helped us out in both of these games. From a run defense standpoint, he's a natural Mike, okay? And you trade him away, you opt to keep Baker as opposed to trading him. It's ridiculous.
Well, that trade would have made a lot of sense if he was moving Vanoy back to the middle.
Mm-hmm. You know what? It would have made more sense too. Ball game. And maybe that would have made more sense if Vince Beagle was still healthy.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you trade him. I agree because I think Beagle was going to assume more of that interior role. I think
him instead of Landon. I think it was going to be Beagle.
But either way, Vanoy needs to be in the middle.
Have you guys talked about Van Ginkel?
I agree. That's what we're saying here.
No, Van Ginkel needs to get reps on it.
Okay, finally, we have you here. To week 1 and week 2. Haven't you noticed what me and EM have noticed? We watched the All-22 as well. With a couple mods here, we watched some of the snaps with them here. Bro, Ogba's more effective standing up when they're in the 3-4.
And they got him at a 3-tech ball game.
3-tech
ball game.
Come
on, man.
I don't understand man. I don't understand
Come on. I love Ogba's potential, but, bro, this dude is 200.
You're not using him right. You're not using him right, bro.
This dude is 200. He's 275
you got power, athleticism, and bend off that edge, and instead you're kicking it to the inside, bro. Here's another thing, ball game. That sack last week, remember the Wilkins sack? That was all because they stood. They stood up Ogba, and his bend around the edge forced the pocket to collapse. Newton climbed, slipped, and Christian Wilkins picked up the stat.
He should have had one. He should have had one today too.
Yeah.
He should have had one today. But again, like I said, that's coaching. That's not Ogba. That's not Ogba's fault.
No, that's coaching.
If you look at my first thing that I commented in the chat today was I said this game was lost. The game today was lost because of coaching.
Can I say this too, ball game? Because we haven't had you as well. I've highlighted this both shows, post-game shows. Everyone can attest to that. That's on here, bro. Kyle Van Noy's tackling off the edge. That's another reason I'm moving him to the middle, bro.
Yeah,
he missed that. That you remember that it ended up being challenged on 4th and inches, and then they converted anyways. But he could have made it 4th and 3, 4th and 4 last week against Cam. He was missing tackles again today.
The angles you take as a linebacker when you move from inside to outside, it's all different. How he's seeing the play unfold on that edge as that outside linebacker is way different than it's
Totally
coming right
different
down
than
the
it is
pipe
seeing
at
in
you.
the middle.
And he's been, and that's a part of the adjustment thing for him. That's why, but I'm not going to beat him up too bad. But I do expect him to at least be a little more efficient, at least in one of the two areas, either play recognition or just a tackling.
Carrying Baker around, dude. He's still carrying Baker around.
But look, Van Noy, in terms of reading the plays, I don't see. He's not as big of an issue as these other guys are in that regard. That's true. Well, now they all got something to work on. I'm just highlighting something that I think.
And ball game, your boy Van Ginkel needs more snaps in the middle, bro.
Yeah, I want to hear about Van Ginkel. What do you feel, ball game?
How many snaps did he get today?
He's been horrible. He's been horrible.
I saw him 3 times. That's all I saw him.
He's playing. It looks to me. It looks to me like he's playing. He's playing like a guy unmotivated. Like he really and truthfully is lost right now, which could very well be because of the fact that I don't think they put him in the right position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He, but again, these are these are coaching issues, and
you got one guy. You got one guy on that coaching staff that I actually trust, and that's Flores. But each of these guys have position coaches, and the position coaches are the ones that are actually reporting back to Flores, saying, "Okay, this is how I think we should deploy this guy." Those guys are the ones screwing it up for me in terms of. But Brian Flores needs to say, "No, this is where he is. This is what he naturally does," and then we're gonna leave him here and figure it out. Not all these experiments, but then again, it's preseason.
But look, ball game. But look, they've been seeing these players, 6 days a week for the last I don't know how many months. Okay, what you're seeing on tape, I hope that's not what they saw in practice.
Right.
So you gotta. Are they just putting these players out here just to be doing that? Because I mean, it's like they hype these players up. They give these players A, B+ reports during the week, but then you put them out in the games and they are atrocious in them roles. I mean, I don't understand that. Why is it not translating to the field?
You know what it looks like to me? It looks like to me with the second week of the season, because you really can't get an honest feel of what a team is doing with just 1 week of tape on them. And going back to last year where Buffalo played us the last game, you can't rely much on that because their personnel changed too. So it looked to me like we were lost on plays that we didn't see or they never had any information on. Because if you look at it, a lot of their big gains came off of miscommunication plays. Like where'd that come from? Or hey, didn't you have this guy? What was that all about? I saw the secondary looking over that shoulder, pointing and talking to guys a lot today. And the formation might look the same, but the routes were different. So it's hard to game plan for that now. Next week, you got 2 weeks of tape on Jacksonville, so they definitely need to show they need to show up next week.
But look though, again, I guess these coaches, bro, they're not burning enough of that midnight oil, bro.
That's true.
You're paid to be prepared. That's what they talk about: preparation. They put that responsibility on the players. Well, that is even a bigger responsibility on a coach.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I said this. I didn't say it publicly on stream, but I said it privately. I said I'm sick of hearing, "Well, we were out coached. We didn't see this. We didn't see that. We need to prepare." But I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. At the end of the day, you're in the NFL for a reason. Okay, I'm sick of hearing that. And that's again, this keeps coming up. This is a reoccurring issue. You know what I mean? They keep saying, well, this needs to be correct. Well, damn, correct it. If it's so easy to correct. Oh, like last week, Josh Moore going to say, well, the good thing about the issues we had, they're 100% correctable. Well, goddamn, well, correct them then. You know what I mean?
Right.
You in that position for a reason. So I'm just sick of, again, I'm not here. I'm not ready to get rid of Flores, or I'm willing to continue to give him, let him earn his bones. But at the end of the day, these questionable decisions are starting to stack up. Personnel-wise, schematics, free agency, it's brewing. It's starting to establish a perfect foundation for that perfect storm to get him up out of here a lot sooner than later. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the good news is the Houston Texans are also 0-2.
0-2. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We're gonna have 2 top 5 picks, guys.
So, but again, it's still early. I'm not writing the season off yet. It's still early, but I think they in terms of this issue with our defense, I think it's 2 positions you need to start at. You need to move Agba off that line, get him up off that line, and put Van Noy in his spot and move Van Noy to the middle. That's where you need to start.
Right.
Hey, reason. 2 top 5 picks would give you Panay.
I'm just looking at in the $25 Phinside the NFL paid league, I kept Fournette on the bench, where in my $50 personal league, I played Fournette today and he had 30 points. So
Panay, where we going? Panay and
Micah.
Go Micah Parsons. Well, we can go Micah Parsons and Etienne too.
No, you go Mike. I'd go Micah and Panay. Just stack it.
I like Etienne, man.
But you're gonna give if we have 2 top 5 picks, you would.
No, I don't think we're gonna have 2 top 5 ones. I was gonna be better than Houston. We'll be at least.
We hope
10 or 11.
We hope.
I had us winning 9
Let's
games.
bring up the PFN mock simulator right now, and I guarantee we got 2 picks in the top 5 right now, brother.
Yeah, they are. They're right now, but we got 14 games left.
Yeah, but this is like what I said to people. The problem when you get into this is, if you think about it, if you do math, we're already an 1/8 of the way through the season. Things like this, you can't let them snowball or the season's out of your hands in the first 4, 5, 6 weeks, bro. And here's another thing, ball game.
We got lucky. San Francisco took that big hit.
Here, I'll bring this up for you because you asked me to bring it up and I forgot because you
the predictions.
So you have a beating Jacksonville next week. All of us did. But here's the thing, ball game. Look at my predictions. I didn't know we'd get so RPO dosed like we did. So technically, I have it starting off just as bad as you now.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you will have similar records because we just didn't agree on the New England, but we both now have this lining up as a 1-5 team leading up to the Chargers game.
Right.
Now, but ball game has 9 wins on the season.
If you could change,
I'm not as nice, my friend.
Yeah, sorry.
This is your stretch for me. This is your stretch.
It's actually going to change now, though, after watching these Cardinals. So,
hey, what did I say? I got that X, brother. I got that X sitting right there. Cam Akers was lost today. Something with his ribs. He left. Now you got a rookie quarterback, so we might all be right on that Chargers thing if Byron Jones is back.
Yeah, but
what about San Francisco with all those injuries?
Yeah,
I still think talent-wise, though, they're a better team.
You know what's funny? Didn't they win games didn't they win a couple games when Nick Mullins was their quarterback?
They sure did.
Mm-hmm. They still got Fred Warner. They're good.
Yeah, but then no Bosa. I think Sherman's lost. Now you got no Jimmy G.
They lost Sherman too.
Yeah, I think they lost
Sherman's on IR.
Running back. So you got Sherman on IR.
And
you still got 2 more weeks to go before things happen.
And they lost Solomon Thomas. They lost Solomon Thomas.
Oh,
Solomon Thomas.
Yeah, and
the running back
still have 2 more weeks.
He's gone. He's out.
Yeah, but that other things could happen to us, bro.
True.
One injury to that receiving core, and we ain't beating anyone, bro. Okay.
Or Tua comes in, and changes.
Devontae 1-4 through the first 4. So.
Buddy,
hey, I'm just saying.
Oh God, Rhino.
God forbid.
I'm with you.
God forbid. Knock on wood. Yo, if we lose Gaskins and Breda,
oh God,
y'all better start looking at who we're taking that top 5. Now who's gonna run the ball?
Top 3.
It's the end, man.
You're not going to take a guy top 5, bro.
Hey,
you can get Najee Harris. You can get Najee Harris in the second.
I'm not taking Najee Harris over.
You can get him in the second, though. You can get him in the second.
Hey.
No, man. You know who you want to get? And this is who y'all need to watch.
Etienne.
Kenneth Gainwell from Memphis.
That was Etienne do it all, bro. Okay, nice.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
If we lose Jackson, they're stuck with Davenport. We're screwed.
Yeah. You would have to
we're
move.
dead.
You would have to move
Definitely
Davis
can't
over to
play
left
Tua.
tackle. You have to bring
Davenport.
Hunt in on the right tackle. You'd have
I
to
don't
do
know
that.
how Davenport's still in the league, man.
That's what you'd have to do, right?
Yeah, Davenport's got pictures on someone. He's still getting NFL paychecks.
Yeah, he definitely got some leverage.
Yep.
Somewhere.
Him and Baker got the same leverage.
God, Baker, man, I watched him today. I focused on it. It was so bad.
I know they had to trade Tunsil, but for Davenport, that was
that's a bad move. But here's my thing. I know I said our floor, I think, is 7 wins. I think our ceiling is 9. But I don't know if we're a 7-win. We're not playing like it. Let me just put it this way. So far, we're not playing like a 7-win team.
Well, we're not getting blown out. As poorly as we're playing, we're not getting blown out. Like last year when they were talking about how community college teams could beat us. So,
just trying to find that combination.
Yeah,
we're just lost by a field goal win. Trouble.
Yeah, in overtime.
Yeah. So I think it's similar.
Yeah.
I think it's similar to what
Herbert
ball game said. We're in preseason mode.
Herbert played today, ball game.
Right.
That's what it is.
311 yards passing by Herbert, huh?
We in preseason mode. We're trying to figure out not only just figure out who we got, but figure out with the guys that we got, how to get them turn them into winners, right? Like build winning habits with them.
Hopefully they figure out Baker doesn't need to be the mic and Van Noy needs to be kicked inside.
They should have figured that out from last year's tape, though.
Right?
They should have figured that out from last year's tape. What you need to see Baker play more in the middle to find out he ain't a middle linebacker.
You need to. You're 100% correct.
Exactly.
Davenport's not a zero tech at all.
You know what they'll tell you? I promise you the internal talk has to be if our defensive line plays better, he'll play better. That's the only way I can see them.
No, if our defensive line plays better, then that will cover up for the fact that he's not a middle linebacker.
I don't disagree with you, but I guarantee that the conversation has to be something like that.
Look, I don't know what flavor of Kool-Aid they're drinking. If they're honestly having a conversation that if our D-line plays better, then Jerome Baker will emerge as a middle linebacker. They don't sell that flavor of Kool-Aid in the Publix I go to.
Here's your problem. Here's your problem.
Here's your problem. Kool-Aid. It's what's in the Kool-Aid.
No, but here's your problem.
Yeah.
A better defensive line is not going to make him shed blocks and disengage better. A better defensive line is not going to make him play better in traffic because even with a good defensive line, you're going to have to. A good defensive line is not going to mask his flaws in the coverage.
He shouldn't be a man.
Yeah, exactly. He's a 4-3 wide 9 will linebacker, and it's nothing personal. It's just he's only good really when we go into 4-3 sets.
Right. And reason, hold up, him being the mic is him being the play caller. If he's not understanding the plays and he's calling him, there's a problem.
Buddy, here's my thing, Todd, and this is what I wanted to say earlier, and I forget we got off topic, but when I was talking about the high football IQ, you got a guy who consistently over pursues. You got a guy who doesn't consistently find the right gap, identify where the ball's going, constantly bites on play action fakes, and this is the guy who's delegating everything in your defense. That's a scary thought, my friend.
Yeah.
You know what? That could be our problem right there by itself on the defense.
I mean, just, and this is what it comes down to. And we can get into the schematics, but this is what it boils down to at the end of the day. I don't think the rest of the defense looks at Jerome Baker for leadership. Honestly, I don't think the rest of our team, I don't
have to necessarily be the
He's
defensive
a good guy.
leader.
All he is I've said this before. This is.
But I don't think they have a leader. Period. Right now.
No, I agree. You know what he is? You see it with Preston a bit. And you see it with Christian Wilkins. And I've said this around with Jerome Baker. Jerome Baker and McCain are very similar. They're out of position, but they're both willing to learn what's being asked of them. right? And they both have infectious personalities that everyone in the locker room likes being around. They're genuinely good people, and that goes all the way to the coaching staff. Like, you got players that are going to be coaches' guys. I think McCain's one of them. I think Wilkins is one of them. I think Baker's one of them. I think, and I think, what's his face?
Brandon Jones?
No, I just lost my train of thought. I was going to someone on the offensive side of the ball.
Falcons tanking. Falcons tanking, by the way.
The Falcons are tanking?
No, no, the other guy was Alan Hearns, and I think Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think those are your coach's guys right there.
Yeah, I mean,
and I would add Von Frazier to that list in the short period of time.
And the only one on there playing, well, two is Fitzpatrick playing decent, and Wilkins.
But ball game. I mean, Atlanta kind of they almost won today. I mean,
yeah.
Again, when does that sound?
If you're really trying to win, you ain't blowing that lead. So
gotcha.
They gotta show up. They gotta show up every week and play. And there's stuff to be gained from going out there and doing what they did. But at the end of the day, I don't think Atlanta fooling anybody.
Their heart's not in it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so let me ask you this: you got a short week. Okay, defensively, CJ Anderson played amazing last week. As a Gators fan, that was amazing to watch. You got kind of a little bit of a reworked front seven. Defensively, they're okay. It's in your next stretch of games, right? As we went over those games right there, in your next stretch of games, you could make the argument that probably they're your weakest secondary until you see the Jets, because Seattle has a decent secondary. San Fran has a decent secondary, even without Sherman. The Chargers and the Broncos have a decent secondary. The Rams have a good secondary. The Cardinals have a good secondary led by Budda Baker. And then you get to the Jets, where their best guy in the secondary is Brian Poole, their slot corner. So defensively, this is probably your best matchup to expose in terms of passing the ball. In terms of across the front, no more Yannick. Right? They're still decent across the front, but it might be a little bit easier to establish a run game than it was these past 2 weeks. And then offensively,
Josh Allen's still a problem.
Yeah, Josh Allen is the problem on that offensive line. Another Josh Allen we got to deal with next week. And then offensively, Gardner Minshew's been playing very well.
The kid from LSU, the linebacker they picked up, linebacker/DN that they play. What that boy name?
Clavon Chason.
Yeah, Chason.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He coming along real nice for them right now.
Yeah, and that's the guy. You talked about him way back. You talked about him way back. But then you go offensively. Gardner Minshew's playing well. They got DJ Shark. Laviska Shenault's been playing well in his first 2 weeks. James Robinson, the running back, why they chipped Leonard Fournette out, has been playing lights out. So, guys, defensively, you're going to have to stop the run, and the pass is just as deadly for them right now. And then offensively,
we're screwed.
It's a little bit of an easier team to establish the run again. And it's a little bit easier of a team to expose in their secondary, because beyond CJ Henderson, they're very questionable. So, offensively, this could be another game where we put up 28, even 31, 35 points.
We're going to have to.
But defensively, this is a dual threat team. It's looking after 2 weeks where we better be on our P's and Q's. So what are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I initially thought that, Jacksonville.
And on a short week, might I add.
Making all of those changes and sending all those people away, that they were going to be just tanking and just going out there, just going through the motion. But
yeah.
Minshew out there, Minshew out there look like he
wants the baby.
He making a statement to say, man, keep Trevor. Hey, somebody else come get Trevor Lawrence, because he ain't got no job here.
Yeah. He's gonna be a Jet. Ball game. Trevor Lawrence is gonna be a Jet, and they're gonna move off Sam Darnold.
Wow. Whoa.
I can see that happening.
Damn.
No, I just think, man,
Poor Trevor Lawrence.
we are right now ripe for the picking because we ain't healthy either.
Yeah.
And the key spots that we need to be able to go out there and line up with, because that Chalk is big and fast.
Right.
Yep.
Chenault is a good route runner, and he's a big receiver too. So,
Yep.
you ain't gonna be, if you ain't got your legs under you, or you got issues with your Achilles, and you know what I'm saying, your knee ain't 100%. You're gonna have a problem putting your hands on this kid to stop him. Now you might be able to bully him a little bit and get him off his route, but I don't. Shark is a dog. I'm sorry, Shark. DJ Chalk is a dog.
Yeah.
And don't they have D.D. Westbrook?
Yep. They got.
And they also got Colin Johnson.
Yep.
So it sounds like the only chance we have is to try and outscore them. That's what it sounds like.
What's the status on Byron Jones?
Yeah. Okay.
No one knows.
Groin. It ain't good if it's a groin.
Yeah.
Right.
I had that with an Achilles, and
Yeah. The groin is definitely, for me, football wise, that Achilles is significant, but you can play with that. That groin is another monster, man.
That's a core. Groin's a core.
That groin is going to take away your ability to transit. I mean, to shift directions and to plant, all of that. That's all bad. That's weeks.
Everything goes through there.
Yeah, that's weeks. That's weeks. You're talking anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks of nothing. Just sitting up, icing it, stretching, not overstretching, but heat it up, cool it off. Heat it up, cool it off type of deal, man.
So didn't we sign Tankersley last week?
We re-signed him back.
I seen something about it.
I don't think he's ready.
High school was nonstop therapy for weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think Tankersley
by your girlfriend
thrown out. I don't think Tankersley ready to be thrown out. You know,
Here's my problem. Like, you're going to have guys coming out here saying, yo, not only Micah Parsons, but we're going to need someone that can set the edge next year in the draft. And I don't agree Gregory Rousseau is that guy. I know he had 15.5 sacks last year, but that guy's so raw. I'm
not sold on that kid.
I'm getting this sense of Ceylon Farrell all over again, the guy the Raiders took, where they took him high based on athleticism. And I just don't, like Chase Young, the Bosa brothers, those are transcendent edge guys. I don't get that when I watch Gregory Rousseau. Like, Gregory Rousseau should have opted out. He should have played all 4 years, including the senior year.
That's what I was going to say. I'm a true diehard Canes fan. I watched every game last year.
Yeah.
I loved what he did because he didn't even start the season playing for the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
But the problem is he needed this year to prove it.
Yeah, I agree.
Still gonna be a first round pick. So
I don't think. I mean,
but I don't want us investing. I don't want us investing in it. I would rather
another project.
Give me. Listen. Yeah. We look at our receivers right now. As you guys look at our receivers, what are we missing right now? We are missing Rondell Moore from Purdue, that true slot guy that you can slide in there that's going to create separation no matter what. And all of a sudden, guys are going to be having a double team out of the slot, and things are going to start to open up in that ball game.
Well, what about Smith from Alabama?
I love Smith from Alabama, but let me tell you,
we got two bigs already.
Well, but I do think with Devontae, you can move him into the slot. But here's my thing with Rondell Moore. Let me tell you all this: if Rondell Moore was if he was even 6 feet, he would be wide receiver 1 by a wide margin. Yeah, but because he's not, Rashad Bateman is my wide receiver 1 from Minnesota. But he's like Odell Beckham. Right. Like, he's a big body type of guy who's deadly in space and turns on the accelerators and it over. Well, we had kind of already got big body guys right now. Rashad wouldn't make sense unless we're moving off Devontae Parker.
Yeah, Ron, look at his pass rush, man. I like thereof. That boy had all time, man, to throw that ball to John Brown. It was crazy.
Exactly.
Zero pass rush.
Zero.
My God.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Ball.
You know,
bro, I can't wait to dissect. Guys, we're going to be doing our film study coming up tonight. I'm going to be I'm going to be doing a bunch of clipping out of the Patriots game. And then when that all 22 comes out for the Bills, I'm going to be doing a bunch of clipping from that. And we're going to be putting together our first film analysis for the channel. That'll be coming, probably looking like more like the end of the week, maybe next weekend, just because of how late the all 22 for the Patriots came. So once that comes, we're good to go, though.
Did y'all watch how the Dallas Cowboys won that game?
Bro, dude, Dak Prescott had like
-2
points in the second quarter. I just looked and he has like 55 points, and I was like, what the hell?
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the onside kick. The Falcons just stood there. And I told you,
no effort.
I haven't seen
that's
it.
Yeah,
that was no effort ball game. You're right,
stood
man.
there and watched
Like
the ball.
the dudes that stood there and watched the ball. Yo, that's crazy. I just seen it on NBC.
Hey, ball game. Now that I have you here, can we talk about
this?
That
was
was
crazy, man.
Okay. It was a pretty, when you go beyond the Isaiah McKenzie, I believe Isaiah McKenzie stood his ground. I actually didn't think he should have got a flag for what he did to Noah, but okay. And then you look at the stiff arm to Singletary. You look at his inability to really keep up with the crossing routes, whether it was in zone or man. I said earlier, Stephon Diggs took Noah Igbenogany to, hey, kid, try and mirror this route running school today. So what as a secondary coach for so many years, what would you be telling Noah Igbenogany, and what were because I didn't see I'm going to dive into the all 22, but I didn't see a ton of positives.
I would be telling him, hey, kid, you just got your ass handed to you by one of the best route runners in the game.
Yeah.
Clean the slate. Let's get back to work. Now we need to work on we'll just pick something every week to work on, though. That's the biggest thing. So give him something small. Give him something that's manageable. You know what I mean? Something that's completely jumps out on the tape at you, which is if it's rerouting the receiver. Have him working on that to wall off the inside so the receiver can't get across his face, and then have him work on transition his hands from the front to the back to the hip and running with the guy, and then making sure he's inside shade of the receiver. You know what I mean? And able to be in phase with the receiver so he can feel him to not, feel him enough to not impede his route, but at the same time be able to, kind of feel where he's going. You know what I mean?
Like I will say,
those are things that I would be giving him. Small things, man. Because the kid it's not like the dude been playing corner for the last 7 years.
No, I agree. And you kind of saw remnants of the problems he had with Van Jefferson when he played Florida today, right? But let me say, minus the penalties, of course. But let me say this to you. I believe you were the only person on board with me when I talked about Stephon Diggs. Not only does he bring speed, route running, but he brings catch radius that can help mask the accuracy issues. Yep. When you see that catch radius in play today, like you did with that ball that went through Eric Rowe's hands and over Noah Igbenogany's head and hit Stephon Diggs right in the numbers as he was jumping over them, bro. When he made that throw, I said the AFC East has a problem right now, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we outlined that early. We identified that early, though, that bringing in Diggs was essentially going to make Josh Allen. It was going to actually escalate his growth process, because at this point now, with the arm as big as he had, all he got to do is put it in the space.
Yeah.
Diggs will do the rest.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I don't think anyone disagreed with you guys as far as the season. I think they just felt the Dolphins secondary would play him better. I think that's what they thought.
All the money, bro. All the money that's back there right now. Yeah.
I don't think they disagree with that.
We lost Byron.
That secondary is no different from last year's secondary.
So we lost Byron, bro. Like,
here's my thing. Right? Realistically, what I said was with the new people that we brought in and the lack of the preseason, it was going to take us for this defense. I figured the defense is going to gel quicker than the offense. So I give them to week 4 to have things pretty much ironed out and complete, and you see a much better product on the field. The offense, on the other hand, Shane Gailey got his work cut out for him, because right now at this point,
they're better than the defense right now, though.
No. The offensive line is our wide receiver. our wide receivers still ain't. They're not. When we played a zone team today, let's be honest. Now we played a zone team today.
Yeah.
So they had better route running,
and we still had separation
problems.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yep.
When teams identify that your receivers can't beat the press, they're gonna show you that a lot more. And our guys have to be able to consistently win their one-on-one matchups. Otherwise, the offense is gonna be dead in the water.
I have a question about X.
True
I
that.
see people seem to be down on him on this game. I guess mainly because the last touchdown they gave up.
That was McCain's fault.
Right. That's what I wanted to address.
All day.
I don't understand why everyone's so down on him because I read it. Yeah, because I read it to where McCain should have been further back, like Ballgame said, and he gave up the deep ball.
I will say this.
He got no reason to have his eyes in the backfield.
I will say this, bro. I will say this because you are right. Ballgame. McCain had his eyes in the backfield. He over pursued. He got out of his spot, and it was a wrap. But
10 yards too.
Here's the thing. That was they ran the same exact play before. My thing is, that was one of the rare instances where you got pressure. You forced Josh Allen to be inaccurate. And Xavier Howard got his hands on the ball because he missed. I think it was John Brown was actually underneath.
Before.
He was right the play before. He was underneath. He was underneath X on that crossing route.
Right.
So if he would have put it in front of X, that would have in front of John Brown. It would have been all day. They would have got the completion. But because of the pressure, he overthrew him, and X got both hands on it, but didn't make the pick. And if he made that pick, here's the thing. You know what? We could have got away with as bad as that defense played if they came up with a big play in the last 5 minutes. If they came up with a big play when we had that lead and they nullified it, then we could have won that game, bro.
Right.
Well, I disagree a little.
Could have won again.
I disagree a little bit. I think that
Van Noy should have had a pick too. These guys aren't.
We had the momentum. We had the momentum in the game.
Like we're not getting enough we're not getting enough turnovers in terms of we're getting put in a position to make the turnover, and they're not making the turnover.
Yeah, I think X got confused because Allen made the wrong throw. He should have thrown it more towards in front of him to the left, looking at the field. He threw it deep. He thought
that's
the receiver.
What I said. That's
right.
What I
I'm just saying. So I think that also confused Howard, and that's why it looked like he might have messed up on the interception.
Here's my thing, bro. First of all, Howard's a ball hawk. Second of all, with how mistake-free Josh Allen was playing, you have to take advantage of those mistakes when that opportunity presents itself. That separates winners from losers. Bro.
Absolutely,
especially in tight games, especially in 3-point games. Now, again, I will say what I said earlier. Same with the Preston. If it comes down to one play, you didn't do enough to win the game. But we've now identified between the Preston touchdown and that 2 instances where they were in the position to win this ball game.
Yeah, but I'm not going to blame X for not getting that interception.
No. I'm just saying I'm not saying roast him or pull him over the fire because
he should have made a play as a playmaker. Period.
It's still a pass breakup, but on the touchdown, it wasn't his fault. But on that play, you're paid $15 million because of your ball hawking and your ball ability to make a play. That's all. Because you know what? That's where game changers, that's where game breakers, that's where elite players, that's what separates.
Same for Van Noy. Van Noy should have had the interception, like you said. Van Noy should have had it.
The elite players separate themselves from even the great ones by making plays when they present themselves. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with that.
Yep.
I agree with you, but I think it all comes down to 1st and goal at the 1, and we can't get anything out of it.
I said we should kick the field.
Preston had it. Preston had it. He dropped it,
bro. Listen, and there were people. You can tell people's football aptitude on Twitter. People are trying to say bad throw, bro. That is put in a position. Again, I will tell all of you who might be new here right now. If you watch that, and I watched it 4 times on the broadcast,
back shoulder.
If you go back and watch it on the All 22 when it comes out, you'll see what I'm about to tell you. If you watch it, the corner. I didn't identify who it was. I was watching Preston and the ball on all 3 replays. But if you watch the corner, he's cutting. His angle is coming around the left side of Preston. So what he's doing is if you lead Preston with that ball or you even put it in his numbers, you're risking this guy wrapping his left arm around and making a play on the ball.
He was taking away his front shoulder.
Yeah, where he did was he put it to Preston's right rib, right outside of the 1, and Preston, it went right through his hands. Literally went right through his hands. So it was there. The touchdown was there. It was put in a place where only Preston could make a play on that ball. So that was a good throw.
Yeah, if he threw it to his front shoulder, it's broken up or intercepted.
And here's my thing. This man can make amazing one-handed and contested catches, but you can't make come on, bro.
Well, you can do all that type of stuff in practice with nobody on you, but he needs to learn that 2 hands are always going to be better than 1. And if you're fighting to get up to go get the ball, then make the DB have to fight through you to not let you get the ball. And that's where you get your penalties called, things of that nature. We make it too easy trying to go out here doing all this one-handed foolishness when it's always better to go up. You know, especially as a big receiver, they gotta come through you to get to the ball. So make him do that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man, we've hit the 3 hour and 5 minute mark. I want to thank everyone who's joined the roundtable. I'm sure it's about to continue when we end this broadcast. But guys, I'll go through you one by one. I'll give each one of you guys last thoughts. And we'll start with you, Havoc, if you're actually still there.
Yeah. I mean,
wow.
It's fins up all day. Shout out to Australia. It's a rebuild. Stop crying.
This guy.
I told people that, man.
Todd, let's give you your last
no
thoughts.
matter how frustrated I am, we could have won these 2 games compared to how last year looked. So I'm still looking forward to a positive future.
All game.
It's going to get and look worse than it really is just because they still got to figure each other out. And with a new defensive coordinator and an antiquated offensive coordinator who has to evolve his game to figuring out ways to help his guys get open, it's going to take some time. So everybody need to be patient and see take the small victories. These guys are working hard to push through all of the stuff that they have to do in terms of, learning each other and being able to communicate with each other on a consistent basis and all that type of stuff. That stuff's not easy. So, it takes some time. But once they get it figured out, like I said, I think by week 4, we'll see a much better improved defensive effort across the board. And they're going to move some people around and make some switches there. And then on offense, hopefully, Shane Gaylor will start employing some of this motion to get these guys freed up, and start confusing defenses a little bit because, just being out there in front of people and never moving is never going to be a good thing for you. So,
agreed, brother. Rhino, what do you got, brother?
Levi Wallace was covering Preston.
Yeah.
And you're 100% right. The only thing that I would say is that it's better than the alternative, which was there was no football to watch. I'd rather be going through this than watching football. And I think it'll come around. I don't know when. Hopefully, if Tua gets in there, he'll light the league on fire, and this will be a distant memory. Fins up.
Yeah.
Sean, what's good, homie?
Hey, how you doing? Well, I just think for myself, I just think it's preseason for us, and we're finding the right combinations of people. You're seeing the last 2 games, you see, okay, this person did this person did this person did that. So I think it's just going to work out. By the 4th game, you'll probably see some improvement.
Agreed, bro. Pyromancer, what do you got on your mind, bro?
Well, like I agree with everybody saying. We're improving. I definitely see some improvement from the defense compared to week 1. And that is pretty much it. And shout out to Hollis for making the play, man. I seen him.
All right, true, bro. And shout out to New Zealand. And I agree with 420 Fuego. I don't know if you heard earlier, but
yes.
We started really going over the middle and challenging that middle part of that weaker part of the field in front of Poyer when he wasn't lined up on the line of scrimmage, challenging the linebackers in the second half, and we started seeing success. I don't know why they didn't do that coming out of the gate, because even if you watch our preview show, we said my keys to victory images, they were made before the news came out about both linebackers being out, or that would have been on there. So they did that and they got offensive success. So I agree with that. But guys, basically how this week's going to work is Wednesday, we're going to do our preview show. Thursday, we're going to go live for the Dolphins and the Jaguars. And then we'll probably open it up after the game ends. And then come Friday, that's when we're going to do our post-game show. And from here on out, every Sundays, we're going to go live during the game, and then you'll get our post-game show probably the next day. So that's going to be how we roll from here on out.
Exciting.
And at the end of the live reaction or in the fourth quarter or somewhere along the line, we'll be dropping the link to bring some of you guys on, and we'll go from there. All right, guys?
Crap, New England got an interception.
Let me just say something real quick.
Yeah, you see that, right?
I want to say hey to Rhino, too. What's up, Rhino?
Hey, buddy. Love you, man.
What happened? What happened? Hold on. What happened?
New England just scored a touchdown pick.
There it goes.
Tip ball. Tip
drill. Okay. So at least it's not on my boy Russell.
Say something real quick.
Go ahead. Say
Always remember, root against the Texans.
That's a fact. Words of wisdom. And with that, it's Fins Up all day, every day. We're out. We'll see y'all on the next one.